I tried to match Yimbo's energy. Did that work?
I was waiting for it.
Yeah, I saw your face and I was like, wait, did we say that I was going to host or was Yimbo going to go?
I was just waiting for you.
What is up, everyone? Welcome to It's Wednesday night. It's the TPC Top 10 with the Toy Daddies. How you doing? My name's Toy Father. With me, as always, we got
No Chewing. What's going on? All
the Chewster. What's up, man?
Punky Chewster.
Chewster. Yeah, this
Funky
is a new
Chewster.
nickname.
Ooh,
What'd you call?
special watch along episode right there. Yimbo
Funky?
said Punky Chewster.
Oh, that's good.
That's good. We'll
Let's
watch
see
some
that
special
figure.
after school episodes, and you know the three of us talk about our relationship with Punky Brewster. Yeah.
At Meta AI, imagine Punky Chewster, please.
I don't think that works on YouTube.
Do it, everyone. Do it. And Yimbo, what's up, buddy?
Oh man, as always, happy to be here, guys. Ooh, we've been on a great run, and it continues to get better and better. I'm just so excited.
It's 2024, right? We have some goals to make, and I'm really glad. So let's not let our guest wait anymore because we have a lot to do, a lot to talk about. Everyone who has seen, the hype up to this show, we all know we have an amazing toy photographer. Actually, one that I know has inspired Chewy on his journey to toy photography, right?
That's
Chewy?
right. He was a part of Marvel 616 and was my entryway into toy photography.
And I remember when I first started toy photography, and same with Yimbo, we got word of the Disney 616 episode, and we watched it, and we saw this man just really bring photography to life. And the one thing I remember him saying, and it was absolutely true, was that when you have an idea for a toy photo, you drop everything and you do it. And that's basically something that was so relatable to me. I'm like, yes, that's what you do. That's what we all do. And so
I think also to me, like when I was watching, he just made it look so fun.
God, yeah, he did. And that's where you got your love for.
Yeah.
All butts wet.
15% off. Yeah.
Atmosphere aerosol.
Atmosphere aerosol.
Oh, well, yeah, that's right. He did play with water too. He played.
That's not the sound of a water effect. What is that?
Well, spray.
It's
spray.
15% off.
Okay, guys. Our guest is waiting. Let's welcome in the great Mitchel Wu. How you doing, buddy?
Doing good. Thanks, man. It's great to be with you guys. I was here. How long ago was it? It was over a year ago, right?
Yeah, we were on a different show called Toy Talk, but this is the first time you're with us on the TPC Top 10.
Yeah.
It's so awesome to have you here.
I appreciate the invite. Mentioning the Marvel 616, I think Disney Plus took it. Somebody was telling me they took it off, so it's not there anymore.
Yeah, we were talking about that last time. That week that we had you on was the same week that they took it off.
No way.
And
yes,
because I went on, it's like, I'm gonna watch that episode again. Just that's my lead up to like talk to you for the first time, and then it's not there. I'm like, oh, they took a tax write off on this one somehow. All right.
Yeah, like my wife was going, why didn't you record it? And I went, well, of course, that would be copyright infringement. I can't do that. Just in case anybody's listening.
Right.
Yeah. So, but it was out there for a few years, so it's all good.
Inspired a lot of people, I'm sure.
I was going to say, Mitch, like getting to a chance to talk to you right now, like live outside of like little chats and stuff, but like just to get a chance to talk to you, and I just like, again, I'm in the camp of that doc, completely solidifying my desire that this was like my future life path, my future hobby, my future maybe more, just like, man, I want to do this with my life. And for me, it was a thing that you mentioned in that doc. That's what I'm saying. Like I watched that so many times, I can't tell you. So I'm glad I watched it as many times as I did, because I never thought it would. I thought it was always going to be there. But when you were talking about setting up photos and tapping into the your childlike imagination that you thought was gone, and I'm like, oh, yes, this is it. Getting to do this again. Oh my god.
Yeah, so, I mean, it is crazy, right? And you know, from the time when I was a kid, which was so long ago, the toys have, man, they're so amazing now. And just the variety that's out there. If you're a fan of almost anything, it seems like you might be able to find it, if not in the stores and maybe on the secondary market. But yeah, it's incredible. I remember, well, I'll never forget the filming. They had Disney, or the production company. I live in a little cul-de-sac, and we have 8 houses on this cul-de-sac, so it's pretty small, and it was like filled with like trucks, like big trucks, and we didn't have any, like, nobody pulled a permit or anything. Crazy, but the timing worked out perfectly. We had finished filming, and literally when everybody was putting stuff away, not cops, but like the community security guard pulled up, and he had his mean face on, and the producer, she goes, "Don't worry about this. I got this. This is what I do." She went out and she sweet talked him, and you know, it was all cool. Yeah.
Suddenly he's a cameo on the special.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a little backyard, and like I shot like a couple images in the backyard. I forget, but this was a big production, and when they film like on any kind of production, a lot of times they'll have something called the video village. And they had one set up in like half of my yard where it was like a canopy, and then they had all this technical equipment under there, and that's where the director and everybody sat. It's pretty wild. It was a lot of fun, actually. It was fun.
I can imagine. Well, that they filmed. I mean, some of those panning shots, the B-roll that they shot, very cinematic. Again, like you never know.
I mean, it was definitely good quality stuff. I mean, the cameras, and it was crazy because when they did an interview of me inside my house, and they set up these huge lights outside of the window to make it look like sunshine was flooding in. It's like, oh, that's how they do that. That's
Wait, was it dark?
But it just wasn't as bright as what they made it.
Oh yeah. I do remember the lighting in that. I was like, wow, this has to get some really nice light.
Yeah. And you know, you guys know Plastic Action Jax, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So he lives like maybe 3 minutes from me.
He does?
Yeah. And he actually came over and took some like behind the scenes for me, and so it was cool. Wow. So if you ever see any footage of like me on like setting up a shot with the actual Disney cameraman video guy off to the side, that was Jack shooting that.
That's awesome. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's crazy, right? So for a while, it's like anything. It's like you're on Instagram and you start connecting with people. And Jax was a person I was connecting with because I loved his work. And I forget who saw what, but one of us saw the other's photo, and it was shooting at a local park called Vasquez Rocks. And wait, where are you? So close.
Wow. So that happened way before Disney went.
Yeah, it was quite a bit before that. So Disney filmed at the end of 2019, I think, and so we probably met in person maybe 2018.
Oh my gosh, doesn't it seem so long ago? Wow.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Time is crazy.
Well, for those of you in the chat, you're all the best thing about the show. You make us laugh, you crack the jokes. Please, if you have any questions for Mitchell, like put them in. We're starring him. We've already started a few. And we're just gonna have fun tonight, right, guys?
Oh yeah.
Right.
I had to look, Mitch. It was November 24th, 2020. I did a series of, and this is like early me, but it's like Spider-Man babysitting Grogu with Ray. But there you are. I included you, and I did a whole little write-up about.
I didn't see that. I don't think.
Oh, it's okay. Oh, but come on. I'm not. I never pretend anybody sees my stuff. So I just had to look back because, like I said, like you've been that, like God, that like you were like a person, and that show was something I was able to point to when I was getting into it. Like, this is a thing. Look at this guy. Look what he's doing. Look at the galleries.
Thanks, man. That's super cool. I guess the director, the casting agent of the show, told me that they were doing this segment called Unboxed, and it was about the toy industry. It was how Hasbro, the toys that came out of Hasbro, and most of it, as you saw, a lot of it was from the industry side. So they had stuff going on at Hasbro, and then they also had stuff going on at Funko, and they felt like it was too toy company focused, and so they needed like a fan. And so I don't know who, but somebody said, hey, what about a toy photographer? So that was really cool. That was really cool that somebody
So
thought
random.
about that. It is. I mean, I guess in 2019, toy photography was really starting to find its footing. You know, I started in 2015, and I feel like, you know, when you talk to different people like Jax, and there's several others, we all started in 2015. So that was when I think a lot started to happen. But still, back then you could say, oh, what do you do? I'm a toy photographer. It's like, you know, and then a blank stare on their face. And then they just assume like maybe you shoot toys against a white background for Amazon or catalogs. So it probably is still sort of like that. Like if you're at a party, and in fact, I know it is still like that. At a party and somebody says, what do you do? Oh, I'm a toy photographer. It's still the same assumption. It's more known now than it was, definitely. But it's still unknown. It's still really niche as far as like a genre of photography goes. Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's so very little people that do it professionally like you do, right? So
yeah,
I can understand that. I can understand why they're I don't want to say, well, yeah, blank stares, judgment, all that.
I never get any judgment.
The judgment, it's more of just like, what do you do?
Yeah, and then
like, well, that's what I mean by.
And then you pull out your phone and you show them, and it's like the jaws drop, and you're like, well, how do you do that? You know?
Yes,
it's almost always like that. So, and I like from the very beginning, I've been out shooting. Like I think most toy photographers, not all, and maybe that's changing, but when I started, I think most everybody started shooting outdoors, you know, and using available natural light. And so I did that, and you know, I'd go all over. Like if you go on my YouTube, I'm not active on YouTube, but I'm planning to be more active on it. But if you go on my YouTube, there's a video on like me in Japan and Taiwan, and I have no fear. I think it's because I used to photograph weddings, and you're like this one photographer in front of like sometimes a huge number of people. So you get over that shyness really quick. But in Japan, I remember we went to some really like big tourist areas, and I would just like, I brought along a little action figure, and I was walking along, and there's people all over the place, and I would set it on a rock, and I would just immediately lay down and start shooting it. And I look at that video, and it's funny because there's just like these Japanese school kids walking by, and when I laid down really quickly, it like startled one kid. He kind of backed up. And then they all just start watching. And then some people were like taking photos of me taking photos of toys. So so even though it's like I'm out there, you just got to do your thing, whether or not people understand it or not. I think that's the point.
I totally do that when I travel.
Yeah.
I usually have a pocket figure when I'm going through Europe. Like this last time was I think it was Game Reverse Spider-Man and Where's Waldo? And I gotta tell you, I did not realize how internationally renowned Waldo is.
That's crazy.
And I was going through Spain, and people would be like, "Oh, Wally!"
Yeah.
And they were happy to see apparently a grown man tourist going around these nice spots in Spain with Wally.
Yeah. Now, can you imagine if you did all this, or we did all this out in public without a camera? I think the police would be called so quick.
The camera definitely helps with the optics.
It does. It totally makes a difference.
No, this is my fancy camera. Look, I have the real deal.
No, I'm sorry, Policia. Americano. I know.
Wally.
It's so sad that we can't just go out and play with toys, you know, in public.
Yeah, that's true. Hey, why don't we hit the chat? Because we don't want to go too long without ignoring
good start. So let's say hi to everybody. We some big time friends in the chat that we're here. What do you want to start with?
You do it, Trey.
No, go ahead. I'm just gonna click it through for you.
Disavowed action figures. What's up, buddy? How you doing? Wade Crate. What's going on, buddy? Samurai Chris. How you doing? Endless Fables. I'm glad you could make it.
Well, we started now. We're good. We're 15 minutes in.
Yeah. Bashoa
For
77. Messy
Agreed.
photography. How you doing, bud? Can't wait for those questions. Red Dog Motion. Eddie, what's going on, man? And Darth Indomicus.
Indominus.
Dominus.
66.
Toy Addict Danny, what's up, buddy?
That man.
Check out A Worthy Addiction this Thursday for a celebration of birthdays with Toy Addict and Unworthy. Got
That's
a
right.
roast going
Oh.
on.
A worthy addiction, a celebration of life.
A very worthy roast.
Celebration of life. Love that. Cal the Collector, how's it going, man? Diggs Figs, how you doing, bud? Rob's Pop View.
Hey.
Greg.
And Greg is also reminding everyone, please click that like. I'm going to say share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Thank you.
The Captain.
My neighbor Dan, who, by the way, Mitch, was the guy that told me about that episode.
Oh, that's so cool.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
It was in my
nice.
caption. It was
You
in my
know
little micro blog.
You two are
That's right.
adorable.
Dan told me.
Just two grown adults becoming best friends, happen to be neighbors.
Oh, it's so good.
What is like so you always talk about having pizza night with the Captain, with Dan. What are the go-to pizza? Like, is there just order the regular, or is it like?
Oh no! So we go to Anthony Franco's, some nice New York style, and
Nice.
we get a
I love
plane
when
for
you
the
talk
kids.
food, man.
Yeah. And we just discovered we can split specialty pies. So I really like a nice white pie with my dialect where my family comes from is the rigot. Like you cut off rigotti.
Yeah.
So it's the mozzarella and the
Just go
rigotti.
slower and get closer to the mic.
Rigot.
There we go.
So I like a nice white pie, but we've done meatball. We've of course sausage. Dan, one of his favorites, and it is really good, is bacon ranch, chicken bacon ranch. It's really good. Chicken bacon ranch.
Take your word for it.
Yeah. So we try it all. Oh man, what else? Chicken parm. We get the specialties.
Okay.
No Hawaiian. We haven't ventured into Hawaiian.
Wow, your pizza nights are intense. What I would imagine is like, all right, a cheese and a pepperoni when you keep talking about pizza nights every Friday. But wow,
we put out the spread. It's always a good
that's
time.
intense.
I think Hawaiian pizza won me over last time we met together at Legion's Con. It was pineapple, ham, and jalapeno.
The jalapeno did it.
Jalapeno.
It sealed
So
it.
good.
Jalapeno brought it all together.
I think that's the unusual ingredient for Hawaiian, right?
It is. You're
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
But it was a nice kick. Just saying.
Yes. Changing backgrounds.
I am.
Machu Toy, what's up, man? How you doing?
What's up, buddy boy?
Steve Morrow, what's going on?
Oh, and I love that. So in talking about toy photography, this is a great question for the chat too. And because we're going to continue to talk to Mitch about things that inspire him and what he does. But Steve, by all means, this is a great question. Share things that your perception of the world. I feel like that's changed tremendously. Even though, like Mitch, I've gone to more Dio stuff, I still will see the world in that could look really good for so and so, like constantly.
Absolutely.
Like it's never gone away.
Right.
We got Sir Trevor in the house. How you doing?
Trev?
Hey, Trevor.
Toy Mirth, what's going on, Anthony?
Toy Mirth.
The Unhuman. Detenticus, how's it going? Ravot, how you doing? Cody, Too Much Toy News, how you doing? Maz's Toy Box.
Too much new toys.
Too much new toys, sorry.
Dork,
It's
what's
not,
up,
it's not
Jared?
even 11 yet. Sir Dork.
What's up, Jared?
What's going on, buddy?
Chain Brothers, what's going on? Usid Hakura.
Hey, Usit, man, how you doing?
So,
That's
hey, Mitch, let's make splashed water again.
That was just between me and Usit, man.
That's Jim. Read that undertone.
Usit does some really cool. I love his automotive, like his scale car photography. I dig. it.
Yeah.
Small Scale Picks, how's it going? Clintastic 4, the roast master for A Worthy Addiction on this.
You know what? This
Thursday.
brings up a really good point. I mean,
Yeah.
I entered Instagram, I don't know, a long time before I started toy photography, and it was primarily to spy on my daughter. So,
Fair.
but also,
Solid.
because I was before toy photography, I was a wedding photographer, and so, Mitchel Wu photography. And after I got into toy photography, it's like, man, what a ridiculous, boring name I have compared to everybody. Look at this, Clintastic 4, Sir Dork, No Chew. I really am curious about where No Chewing came from, honestly.
Oh, I
share
have an origin story.
It's a good
for it.
origin.
So I mentioned Spain already. So I spent some time, and I love the character Nightwing. Clearly, I needed a handle for all the social media stuff, PlayStation handles, all that good stuff. Nightwing was taken, so I just inserted Noche and Wing. And when you push them together, my wife pointed out that it reads as no chewing. And I just really liked that. And I just kept going with it. And I'm certain it doesn't read as toy photography, and that it reads more like I'm a diet person that I'm trying to get you on a program called No Chewing. It's a liquid only diet.
Double meanings is cool, man.
That's right.
Good.
It's
That's
my
good.
future. My future. This is just my segue into fitness and diet.
Got it. Yeah.
So, great question. I'm saying my question is a great question. This is a great segue. Here's a question for you. If you could just do it all over again, what would your handle be?
Ooh.
Totally. Probably Mitchel Wu photography.
Fair.
I don't know. That's like a question I'd have to spend like a week on.
Yeah.
You just can't come off at the top of your head. But yeah, it's that ship has sailed.
I mean, that would be really funny if you had one like the only opportunity to go back in time and you still keep it as Mitchell Wu photography.
He's a known brand. Why change?
Yeah.
It's working, you know?
It's true. I mean, hey, it
You can
works.
tell I wasn't into toy photography back then. Otherwise, it'd be Mitchel Wu toy photography. So
True.
yeah.
Wesley K, how's it going?
Ooh,
All right.
now,
Wesley.
you read this one, and I got a thing, but you can read the name.
No, I thought you were gonna read the name.
No.
I want you to read the name.
No, you just say the name, and then I got another part.
You want me to just say the name?
Just say the name.
Okay.
Like very flatly.
Yeah.
That goes
Okay,
against.
you don't
what
want
we
me to
normally
do what you do?
No, just read it.
Okay. Jukebox Hero.
With stars in his eyes. I wanted to mix it up. Sorry.
I love that.
3/4 of the audience don't even know the reference.
Oh, this audience, no, they know.
They do?
We've seen Jukebox Hero show up on this.
Okay.
I just wanted to try the other part.
No, it's good. It's good.
You
Typically,
should have had Chris sing Jukebox Hero, and then
Yeah,
you.
that's true. Well, we're
fill in
leading
the
up to this. This was an idea I had in the car when I purposely listened to this song.
Oh,
I was
that
like,
is a
"Ooh,
cool
Wednesday
song, by
night.
the way.
I might get
That
to
is a
sing
cool
this
song.
tonight."
so Mitchell can hear what you typically do. How do you?
Jukebox hero, and then go, "What's up, buddy?"
Basically.
That's it.
He's thinking about
Ladonde.
changing his name right now. I know it.
No.
Ladonde. Thunderhouse Design. GL Shaw and Tor Nerd. What's
Cool.
going on?
Ooh.
Johnny Woo.
Hey, do we know
That
that guy?
name sounds familiar to me.
Well,
He may be the guy that got me into toy photography, but I'm not sure.
this week is all about Mitchel Wu, but I will say we have back-to-back Woos. Next week we do have Sergeant Bananas on, so just a little amazing family.
I'll be tuning in for that.
Oh,
I'll be tuning in.
Mods Toy Box, we already said hi. AC Walk All Over. Here Black Studios, what's up, buddy?
Cool.
Oh, Skydro Walker, how's it going, man?
Let's go.
Let's go. Alan Rappaport.
Oh,
Alan Rapp over on Instagram. What's up,
Yeah.
Alan?
all right. He's got his real name, I assume.
Yes.
I'm guessing.
You're not alone. You're not alone.
Not alone.
Clint has a origin. Clintastic 4 has an origin story for his name. That's how his was.
I love that.
That works too. That totally works.
78 points of articulation. How's it
Hey,
going?
what's
What's
going on?
And I think we have said
What up,
everyone's
boomers?
name. I will say this. When I was in 7th grade, I was on the football team. And
No way.
Yeah. That was it. That's my story. But the football coach could not say my last name, so instead he said Wu, and then one of my friends was like Wu, like Wu Tang, and then my nickname was Wu Tang for the rest of my high school career. So I'm just saying, could I be the third Wu?
You have to earn that, but you know,
I thought I earned it.
I have a good Wu Tang story.
Ooh.
I went to Alaska fishing, and
Wait, hold on. I think we found the other Wu. So
Oh, hey, it's my wife.
okay, I'll be the fourth Wu.
There may be another fourth one here at some point too.
Okay.
So, but yeah, I was in Alaska fishing with my family, and we were in the small airport in Alaska. Maybe it was Ketchikan, or I'm not sure. And the guy was reading off the names to come, I guess, to get our luggage or give him our luggage. And he goes, "Okay, looking for Wu." And then we went up. He goes, "Okay, looking for Tang," because our cousin's last name is Tang. And he goes, "Wait a minute, this can't be true," because he was a huge Wu Tang fan. And so, oh my gosh, it was great.
Oh, that's pretty funny.
Yeah, it never dawned on me that was a thing until he read it just like that. It's like, oh
Right.
my gosh, my cousin's last name is Tang.
Oh man.
Oh man, that's too funny. Well, let's start with some questions. Like Wade Crate asked for a question for Mitch. What's the first fig you got that got you into taking shots? Favorite fig to randomly shoot?
The first fig that I got was not actually my fig. Sergeant Bananas, my nephew Johnny, he was shooting toys before me, and he knew I was shooting weddings, and he says, "Hey, Uncle Mitch, next time you're up in San Francisco, I'm in LA, bring up your camera, we'll go shoot some toys." And so eventually, some months later, I didn't have any toys. I had all the camera gear. So he lent me, I don't know, Johnny can probably remember. It's the Samurai Star Wars figures.
Ooh,
Oh,
Oh, nice.
I forget.
Which one?
I forget. It's a stormtrooper, but I forget who makes
cool.
them. But anyway, so he
Bandai.
Yeah, Ben.
yeah. So he lent me that, and like, yeah, that was the first shot I took, and from the very first click, I knew that was going to be the thing. Yeah.
What was it like when you took that shot? Like, wow.
It was just awesome. Like it's hard to explain, but maybe you guys have all felt it yourself when you first took your first shot. But so I took this figure. We walked up to a park close to where he was living at the time, and he says, "Hey, Uncle Mitch, here's the figure. You go, I'm gonna go shoot some toys over here. Do whatever you want." And I found this big oak tree, like two huge like branches that formed a crook, and then the trunk. And so I set up it's on my Instagram, but I set up the storm, I think 2 stormtroopers in the crook of the tree. And it was almost like they were walking through, I cropped it in, it almost looked like they were walking through a tight canyon. And I forget what I was shooting with, maybe a 7200, and took that shot. And it's like from that very second, toy photography was going to be it. Wow. And I go back and I look at that shot now. I mean, I've been shooting weddings and professionally for years and years and years before that, so it looked pretty good. But I look at that now, and underneath the stormtroopers are like these oak leaves, and so they're either in a world with like gigantic oaks, or they're just really tiny, So that's one of the things like I'll tell people, like if I'm putting together a tip sheet for something, it's like, always be mindful of the scale of the things around, unless you're like shooting Woody or something where, the scale mattered. Like really the huge oak trees really, or the leaves really kind of push the point that he's a toy, but otherwise you don't really normally want that. So yeah.
It's something, right? It's like, what is that feeling? I don't know. Like, because I know what you're talking about, and I was thinking back to like my first one. It must just be like it's still just the magic of taking something that is, it's just a piece of plastic, and we bring it to life. I mean, like it really is. I think as simple as that. Like,
yeah. So I remember like, I was on Facebook. This was well before Johnny invited me to go up to San Francisco to shoot with him. And I remember seeing some of his shots on Facebook. And the one that sticks in my mind was like a Ninja Turtle on a BMX bike flying through the air. And immediately I'm going, this is crazy. It's like, is he like throwing these things in the air and then like capturing them? Like, how long must that take?
Mhm.
And I think a lot of people actually think that, when they see things flying through the air.
Mhm.
But we know better now. But
Right.
yeah, I was just like, I couldn't even fathom. I couldn't even, like, my head was like exploding because I was shooting at that time, but I know what it would take to do that. I didn't know what it took. It took a wire basically, but I didn't. I'm thinking he's throwing these things in the air. He's timing it perfectly.
So we did have a picture on the top 10
I know where
where
you go with this, Chris.
before we asked questions about like tell us the story behind your picture, and they tell us what they did. And it was a picture of, what was it, Spider-Man like going through the air and like falling down,
like a leap of faith style.
Yes, leap of faith. And we were all just joking, like, wouldn't it be funny if this guy had just thrown it up in the air and just like taken the picture? And it turns out that's what he did.
Right.
That's exactly that. Yeah.
And it's like, wow, no wonder it looked so good, because you did the thing.
It's practical.
Skeet shooting Spidey. So what I was doing on the side, I was trying to find that photo you were talking about, Mitch, of the stormtroopers.
Yes, that's it.
And the leaves.
Whoa.
So
That's
this
it.
is the very first one on your Instagram page.
That is the
toys.
Yeah, it is. That is the very first toy photo. And again, I think it was in August or September or November of 2015.
It looks like August.
Yeah.
Man.
So,
and that's still brilliant. I mean, again, like, because we always say it's not the equipment, it's the photographer. Like, doesn't matter what the equipment you have. Obviously, it helps, and then you can expand skill sets with it. But
right.
Yeah,
I would rarely do a shot like that now, just because I would try to. I drive myself crazy trying to find the story, right? And like for this right here, there could be a story. It's like these two guys they're on patrol or whatever.
Yeah.
But I would look for something a little different, I think. But I do like this photo, and I like what it represents. It represents the beginning of a journey for me.
Yeah.
And
man, Mitch, I was also going to compliment you on considering you were just handed these figures, the posing of them, and that must have come from, obviously like your experience in weddings and actually capturing human beings and their movement. But you nailed like instantly a nice natural walking pose, like which can be a tough thing.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that. If I were to pick myself apart, I like how the head directions are different. I don't like, which I'm just noticing now, how their arms are mimicking each other, the bend of it. And I would totally change that right now if I were doing it again.
Totally agree. That's what I would have done.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's what I would do now.
It's really bothering me, actually.
All right, guys, I gotta go.
And you've been officially declined on that 4th woo.
Can I make at least top 10 woo?
Yeah, maybe 20. It's a big family.
What was that thing?
I'll settle for Tang.
You get honorary Uzi. Is that enough, Chris?
Uzi.
You get an honorary title of that.
Honor Uzi. Yeah. Okay.
But I do like how it kind of looks like they're in a canyon of some sort. It's like it doesn't read as like the crook of a tree to me exactly. So, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I remember what Johnny was shooting. One of the shots he shot was King Kong. I don't know what figure it was, prying apart the jaws of like, I think it was a dinosaur or something, but it was so cool. It was so cool. That's awesome.
Just one thing, and this is when you were on Toy Talk and we first talked to you, I did not realize that you and Johnny were related.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
then 78 points. Oh man. I love when someone else knew.
Yeah, there's
also
actually a lot
realizes
of
that.
people that still, why would they know, really? Unless
Yeah.
they hear us talking about it. But yeah.
And the fact that like you live right near Plastic Action, like that's crazy too.
Yeah.
It is. It was kind of mind blowing because I automatically assumed that everybody's either across the other side of the world or at least the United States, like you guys are. So to find out that he's like a mile and a half away is pretty crazy.
Have you
Yeah.
ever talked about like doing some other stuff like recently with it, like maybe future thing? Have you ever talked to each other because you are so close, like, or for you getting into stop motion, or is that something that?
Oh
you're like,
yeah,
no?
yeah, no.
Yeah.
No, one person in my town doing stop motion is enough.
Right, fair.
No, honestly, I'm so like focused on toy photography and although Jack says it, if you look at his trajectory with stop motion, I don't know, within a year he was putting together some really cool stuff. So,
Mhm.
if you can commit a year to it, there's no reason why I couldn't, except that I don't want to.
Fair, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, but I appreciate the art form so much. Like the stuff that he and other stop motion artists do it's magic. It's
Yeah.
total
It
magic.
is.
But there's so
I
much
just-
work involved.
Yeah.
Well, I just know what my buddy Dan and I do. We'll be swapping toys and dial pieces and things, and I can only imagine, like, man, Plastic Action, like, hey, when's your next shot? Like, I'll just come over and snap some pictures of like whatever the last frame is. Take that collab idea by all means. I'd love to see it.
Yeah, that's funny.
They have some great apps that you can just do it kind of
Right.
like low.
I've seen some
budget.
stuff like that, and it's cool. I mean, if you have
It's
a story
fun.
to tell, and you're, it's to me, it's as cool as the polished stuff. Some of the stuff
Yeah.
that I've seen,
Yeah.
So, and it's the same with toy photography. It's like I always say that show me something that makes me feel something is way better than seeing something that's incredibly technical but doesn't tell me anything.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did it with my girls, the stop motion for like one rainy Saturday, and we had a lot of fun. It was just silly, like Mario ones. That was fun.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, something my son and I used to do, and he always asks me every once in a while to do it again, is just unboxing stuff. So if you ever see like any of it, like it's been ages since I've done it, but it'd be like the unboxing side of it, and suddenly there were tiny hands. Those aren't my hands.
I was gonna say I was gonna say I know whose hands they were, but with tiny hands. But I'm gonna just refrain.
While we're on the while we're talking about family, Machu Toy asks, at family gatherings, do you and Johnny ever ditch the family and take toy photos?
No, but we will like step aside and talk about toy photography. Yeah, or if I'm like at his place, we'll step into his studio and just talk about the gear and kind of I'll nerd out on all the cool stuff.
Yeah,
he's doing.
you have to, right? Like
Yeah.
I'm guilty of that all the time, especially
Yeah,
on pizza nights at my house. I'm like,
Yeah.
hey Ted, you want to go see this thing real quick? Come down to the basement. All of a sudden, like where are the husbands? Like, I'm just in my museum.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like every time I go to No Chewing's house, like we go up to the kitchen, we talk, I talk to his family, all that stuff, and then after 2 minutes, it gets a little quiet. We've run out of conversation. He goes, "So you want to go to the basement?" I'm like, "Yeah, let's go to the basement."
This hobby has reverted us all back to like teenage years, and that's what I
Yeah.
love about it. Again, Mitch, like you said, like from childhood imagination to then just like wanting to play with your toys with your buddies. Like that's what where it's like you get all antsy. It's so funny. Oh,
it's
I love
crazy
it.
it's crazy how you didn't know you missed it until you find it again.
Mhm.
Oh my God. Mhm.
Because it's such a natural progression. One day you're into toys, the next day your mom throws away your toys. Tragic
Mhm.
story. And
Mhm.
then all of a sudden you're like working and you're going to bars or clubs or whatever, and you're doing your thing. There's a whole progression to growing up.
Mhm.
And then to have to discover like the amazing act of play through toy photography again is pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Even to the point where like I remember thinking of like playing a ton of video, like before I about wife, family, all that, and just like playing a ton of video games and being like, this is basically like taking the toys that I played with and now I get to do it in this way. And
Yeah.
just to come back to like where I'll still enjoy video games, but it's not that same pull. The pull is to come down here and create something, like
Well, I think
that's
the pull is also the you can play a video game with people online, sure. Maybe sometimes it's a 2-player mode, but there's such a strong social aspect to all this that we're doing, and I think that's really the gravitation.
true.
Yeah.
Very true. Yeah.
And it's the sense of like accomplishment of original work that's finished, right? Like in a video game, everyone does the same thing, kind of, pretty much, right?
Mhm.
Whereas, whatever No Chewing does with the figure is going to be something different that I would do, and
Yeah,
we
definitely.
appreciate everything, right? And same with Yimbo, same with Mitchell. Like, the perspectives are so different that it's so nice to see what your perspective behind the lens is.
Mhm.
Absolutely. It's cool to just like, it's like creating art. It's like there's nothing there. There's nothing representing that in the world at that point. And then you create something and it found its place in the world. It's pretty cool.
Mitch, I wanted to ask you if you don't mind, like about like for you, it seems like a lot of your character work comes from again childhood, like our childhood franchises, and like obviously like you do wonderful work with Toy Story. But a shot I just shared tonight, which I remember commenting because it's my favorite children's book of all time, is Where the Wild Things Are. By the way, where did those figures come from? I need to know that.
As far as who made them?
Yeah.
Oh, it's McFarland, but they're really old. They're like,
okay. Yeah.
Whenever, I forget the date, but when the movie came out,
Okay.
that's when those toys came out. And I didn't know they existed for a while until I don't remember where I saw them. Then it's like that was a mission to find them.
Yeah.
How did you find them?
I actually got them on eBay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Hey, sometimes you got to do what you got to do, right?
Yeah. And they're technically articulated, but the plastic is not like regular plastic. It's almost like a resin type plastic. And I don't know if it's because it's old or it's just the way they are, but I remember I tried, and it's really basic. It's like shoulders and just like some basic leg stuff. And I remember I was just trying to reposition his arm a little and snap.
Oh no.
Yeah. So really brittle. I was able to repair it. But yeah, so I'm very careful with what I do with those things now.
Looks like the going rate is about 350 or like 6.
What?
Okay. All right.
That's not that bad.
All right. Fair.
But I think I got it for
that's-
I got it for less than that. But
Yeah.
Considering what they are, I think
Sure.
it's not.
That blew me away. Just that those figures even existed, and
I
then
know, and
to
they're really
to
well
see,
done.
and then
Really
to see
well
it
done.
in what you do with them. So your pull then would it be safe to say is like more whimsical characters, more like do you have a draw at all or a pull in yourself to
Yeah, I mean,
do all gritty street level hero stuff like Daredevil or guys like that, or
I
is it
think the last maybe the last Marvel shot I took was when the Queen's Gambit was so popular, and that show was amazing to me.
Mhm.
And I created that same I created an image based on that, but it had, I think it was Black Widow from Marvel. And unless I can create a really fun story with a property that I love using a Marvel thing, it probably won't happen. I probably won't shoot it. But in the earlier days, I was like, I did the Hulk blowing the dandelion with the seeds flying out. I did Thor with the handsaw before he found his hammer. But yeah, unless there's a really good like hook behind it, like something funny or if it's like tied into another property somehow, like the Black Widow was with the Queen's Gambit, you're not going to see a whole lot of Marvel from me.
Yeah, well, I just meant in general, like I mean, in talking to you now, I can see it, and hearing from you before, like I guess you're just, I don't know, you don't have that pull to the dark side, right? Like in terms of like the art that you're creating.
I mean, if I could find toys of some of the, like, a lot of my stuff comes from like nostalgia, and I say like from when I was growing up, but more so even when my daughter Angie was growing up. And so when she was probably like 5 or 6, I don't know, have you guys ever seen Princess Mononoke by Ghibli? Super dark,
but great anime. Oh my gosh,
it's so good. and she loved that. She loved that movie, and she was
wow.
like 5 or 6, or maybe 7. No, she was like 5 or 6. And this is a kid that never had nightmares, and then all of a sudden, like, she started having these weird nightmares, and I'm going, what the heck's going on? And then I tied it back to Princess Mononoke.
Yeah.
And if you saw that movie, you know what I'm talking about. But I would totally do dark stuff, but it has to be from something that really means something to me, like Princess Mononoke. And there's just really not a whole lot of like figures from those types of things. So, but I may surprise you someday.
I hear you. I was just curious.
It's funny you say like Princess Mononoke is super dark. It is. It can be dark, but there's also this like really beautiful story, right?
There's a amazing message, and it was like before its time, as far as
it was before its time.
Yeah, exactly.
It really was.
Yeah, but I mean, I've done my fair share of alien stuff, but there's always like a quirky twist to it, Yeah, there's always a quirky twist. I guess that's just me,
Well, that's what I was wondering when asking about that creative aspect to like the storytelling, because you do put a heavy emphasis on stories, which I think is so important, because you can do it in a single frame story, and just having that extra element is so nice. I don't know, like, I mean, it's something that I try to strive for, but probably because, again, looking up to guys like you that do it. So.
Yeah, I guess now I'm going to tell a story, and I think because Marvel 616 is no longer like being featured. So I'm going to tell you, I was on my porch. This was when we were filming it. And I think I was filming Squirrel Girl. No, that was in the backyard. Okay, I was filming. Okay, I'll just use an example. Squirrel
Professor
Girl.
X.
That's actually what it was. It was Professor X. Yeah.
I think Chris has seen the doc more times than I have.
Professor
He's like
X,
floating, and then you did the.
And then, but there were some other superhero girls, or women around him. And okay, honestly, which you already know now, I don't know a whole lot about the Marvel universe or the characters. And so the director was telling me, okay, so what I want you to do now is, you got it all set up. I want you to talk a little about each character and why you wanted to shoot them. And I'm going, I really don't know anything about these characters. I like how they looked, and so I put that on the order sheet, and so she pulls up her phone and she goes, okay, I forget. I'm just going to use Squirrel Girl as an example. Yeah. Squirrel Girl has the ability to like get squirrels to do her do as a power. And so I'm going, well, I chose Squirrel Girl because she has the power to, and so it came off so seamlessly when you watched the show. It did. Yeah. But yeah, this is my admission for tonight. It's like, I really didn't know what I was talking about.
Movie magic, baby.
and really, and the director, I mean, she was amazing. Had to, Google the stuff on her phone too. So.
Oh, she Googled it. Oh, yeah, well,
yeah.
I mean, Squirrel Girl's kind of like, I don't even know. Like,
she was cool though. I mean, I really. I mean, I liked how she looked on the scooter, and I liked that she obviously had squirrels as her like sidekicks, basically. And so I think in that image, like, she and the squirrels were kicking Thanos's, butt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That feature made me want to go out to get Squirrel Girl, and I remember waiting till it got to like, I think it was like $20. It was like a really good price at that time.
Yeah.
So I was like, "Oh, it's a deal." Mitchel Wu did it.
I also bought that Squirrel Girl.
Yeah,
that same week too.
He's like, he knows everything about Squirrel Girl. Bye.
She can defeat Thanos.
That's, to be perfectly honest, I also own that toy, and that's all I know is, well, I'm pretty sure she beat Thanos once on her own.
Yeah.
It happens. But I can't tell. There's a lot of toys in here that I have been upfront about on streams, being like, "All right, I'm not going to pretend to be an expert. I just thought this was neat." Like, it happens.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the reasons I really, it's cool to know about what you're shooting and have an affinity for it and feel some emotion for it. That's why you always see like Toy Story, Wild Things, and because Toy Story, again, it's like I always say it. I watched that first movie probably a few dozen times with my kid when she was growing up. So I know it, you know, I breathe that story, you know, I know the characters, I know the whole premise of the story, and that helps when creating images, you know. So if you want to stay kind of true to what the property is. Yeah.
I think I've been taking my kids to Disney, I feel like every like 8 or 9 months now. And every single time we end up going to Disney, I end up buying a bunch of Toy Story merch and toys.
That's cool.
To the point where, like, yeah, same thing. The kids just like love it. And I've seen Toy Story 4 and 3 and 4 with them endlessly.
Yeah. So
1 and 2 less so, but 3 and 4.
It's a good example of like how, you know, your technique is not necessarily the thing that connects with people, because if you go back and watch that first Toy Story, you can see that the animation was in its early days, you know, compared to where they're at now, which can be hyper realistic, but it wasn't totally the animation that really mattered. It was that amazing story.
Yeah.
Such an incredible story.
Yeah. Cal the Collector asks, what are your 3 favorite angles to shoot? That's a good question.
I mean, if you look at my work, I don't know that there's a whole lot of different angles that I shoot at, you know.
I think you're just like,
I kind of am. I feel kind of boring at this moment with that answer. But you know, once in a while I'll go higher, like a slight bird's eye, but I really don't stray too far from showing the characters at a level that I feel lets the viewer kind of enter into that world kind of easily.
Yeah. And Mitch, that was something that you know, again, when you had graced us with one of your advice videos when we started doing the channel, Dan's Toy Art had sent one in, and that was one of his points too, where that's what your work does as well, where it pulls us in as the audience into the scene and puts us right there in their world, so you can really experience it. Like, I'm just thinking of one of your like Mario Kart shots, just like, you know, like you're right there, you feel like it's gonna come by you or whizzing past or overhead.
Right.
So
yeah, I think I'm not sure how many Mario Kart shots I did. Maybe one. Is that the one with the
maybe
dinosaur?
That's the one I'm thinking. Yeah, I love that shot though.
T-Rex. So yeah, that's like a cake topper. Those are cake topper toys.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Are they really?
Yeah. Yeah. From a company called Deco Pack.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have you thought about branching into some of those Mario movie toys that I know in Lost in Translation of one of our friends, Jules, was on a while ago, and she had talked about those little, now they're making again different character carts, right, Joey?
Yeah, I forget what they're called. But yeah, Disney has a bunch of them now, so it's like, without having the Mario Kart game, it's Disney characters. There we go. Race Reverse. That's right.
Race Reverse.
So, I do love you,
but you did a great job with the cake toppers. I'm just saying there's other.
I think in general, I would love to do more like vehicle toys because they're just fun. They're just super fun. Yeah.
These are a lot of fun. I think they're right up your alley, to be honest. There's a Grogu.
Oh, that's so fun.
Here's a Black Panther. I have a Spider-Man upstairs. They're really
I have
fun.
a Stitch.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's
Stitch
cool.
would be cool. Rabbit asks, what tools do you use outside of camera, tripods, and lights? Good question.
So whenever I shoot, I have these I have 3 like tool chests that are closed that you can open and close, and I have one carrying thing that's open, and in the carrying thing that's open I have a drill, I have a bunch of like a roll of wire, and I have like a multi-tool and some pliers. Those will always get used. Like,
what do you use the drill for?
The drill holes in the toys.
Oh,
call me Sid.
I just went
what?
Yeah. So when I first started shooting toys, I was wrapping the wire around their legs or waist, and that's just like way too much work to like edit out. So I mean, on my own, I discovered, I'm sure I'm not the first, I discovered that drilling a hole into the back or the side or the under and sticking the wire in is so much quicker.
Hold on. For everyone listening, just earmuffs for at least this full segment.
Come on, you guys didn't know that I do this? I mean, I guess I don't. I guess I
didn't know you
rarely.
drilled holes.
I guess I rarely show that. I'm gonna have to put that in the next. I have included that in some of my behind the scenes, but not many. So I'll probably do that in the next one just for you, Chris.
So just curious, how big of a drill bit do you use?
It's like one of the smallest drill bits
Okay.
because the wire is quite small. But yeah, so I like. Oh yeah, I did this. I did a video for a creative design company called Tongal, Tongal, and they sent a couple of videographers, and they came and they spent the day with me. And the video is called Larger Than Life. It's on my website. And I'm trying to remember if it's actually I did say that I felt like Sid, but I don't remember if it's because I was actually drilling a hole in him or because I was blowing stuff up around him. But anyway, but if you don't drill holes in your toys, you should try it.
Now you have to recreate that scene in Toy Story where you're there, like
Yes.
strapping a rocket to Buzz.
Oh my
Yes.
god.
Yes. Well, I do have that Buzz. I do have a shot of Buzz with a rocket on his back, and I lit fireworks underneath.
I mean,
So-
they're about to re-release that Reveltech one with I think a different head sculpt. So good time
For
to buy
Buzz?
another one. Yeah,
Which Buzz? From the
Reveltech Buzz.
from Toy Story or from the Buzz movie? The Buzz Lightyear
Toy
movie?
Story.
Okay.
Yeah.
While we're on that, Buzz or Woody, Mitchell?
I think Woody.
Yeah.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. Good answer. Good answer.
I really thought you were
He's
gonna
got
say-
holes in him too, though.
That's true.
I really thought you were gonna say Sid. He's like, that was like a lob.
I don't even have a Sid. I don't even have a Sid figure. I need to get one.
Do they make one? Is
They
there a
do.
Sid figure?
I think
Somebody
Beast
does.
Kingdom. Beast Kingdom does
Beast
Sid
They got
and
out with some good Toy Story stuff.
yeah, the chicken guy. I forget his real name.
Oh yeah,
Beast
Oh
Kingdom
my
did the
God.
chicken guy too.
Yeah,
the chicken guy is what was his name in Seinfeld? That guy, right? Is that the same guy?
Newman?
Newman.
Yeah.
Yeah, Newman.
Newman.
And he's the dude in Jurassic Park that
Yes.
got eaten by a bunch of.
No. You didn't say the magic word.
And I started watching a show called Bookie on Max, and he's like in a pawn shop dude.
Bookie.
Ooh.
Have
Oh,
you
cool.
watched that show?
No.
It's new, and it's a comedy, and they're like less than 30 minutes long. So I tried to find something I can watch when I eat a quick lunch,
Mhm.
and I've gone through so many shows, and this is the latest one, but it's pretty good.
Ooh.
It's pretty
All
good.
right.
Yeah.
While we're on show Rex, my wife and I are watching The Bear.
Oh, so good.
Yeah, and I heard they
Oh.
like cleaned up at the I don't know if
Emmys.
it's the Emmys, yeah, which was pretty
Golden
obvious.
Globes. Sorry, Golden Globes.
And I think they will clean up at the Emmys if it hasn't happened yet, because it's just a phenomenal show.
So yeah, I hear the second season's phenomenal. I'm on the last episode of the first season.
It's
And
it's as good, if not better. than
I
the first
absolutely
season.
love it. I
Yeah.
mean,
It's
love
it's
food,
it's,
too.
it's so triggering though, because there's so much chaos,
yes.
in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Great show recommendations.
Very
yeah.
good show.
Small scale picks asked Mitchell favorite Disney figure to shoot.
Does Toy Story count? Because it's
Yeah.
Pixar, but it's now Disney.
Yeah, totally
Yeah.
counts.
But Johnny gifted me at Christmas a cool Stitch figure, and it looks really good. I think it's Super 7, but that's gonna Is that Super 7?
This is I arrived today, and then my daughter, who's 4.5, couldn't wait. So I was like, "You want to film an unboxing video with me?" So her little hands and voice are going to be in
that's so nice.
my next.
Did
But
she
yes,
like it?
Oh my god, are you kidding me? The first thing I was like, okay, it's a daddy toy, so you have to be very delicate, no smashing. And I'm gonna change the parts. What do you want it to look like? And she's like, the baker. So all right, oven mitts in the hat.
Dude,
Yeah,
send me a link that goes live.
All right, we'll do.
Check it out. I'm 4.5
No.
years old, man.
It's the best.
I miss those
Best.
days because my kid is 22. Angie, are you 22 now? 21 or 22? Yeah, 22, I think.
Mhm.
2001. What's that make? February
Oh.
2001.
20,
almost
22.
22. Yeah, 22.
No, 22,
Almost
almost 23.
Almost 23. Holy
Yeah.
crap!
I'm enjoying every moment. I have twins, so boy girl, both 4.5, obviously, and it is the best. And but
Well,
my
you know how they
daughter,
say it goes quick. But trust me, it does.
it's insane. How
Yeah.
they're already like the talking, the language. Just I
Right.
mean, it's been like that for a while, but now it's like hitting another gear where my wife and I are like, who are these little people that live with
Yep.
us?
Yep.
It's-
Yeah,
it's
Yumbo,
crazy.
you're in a sweet spot right now. I would
Yeah.
say my oldest just is 10, almost 11. That's like 5th grade.
Mhm.
And everyone warned me at 5th grade, that's when things start to change.
Well, your kids
I was
love
like,
you. You're your kid's favorite person until you're 10,
yes.
and then when it's
And then
I don't think I
changed.
I don't think I ever got that rank. My wife is their favorite person.
well, as a parent,
Oh, really?
one of
It
the
goes-
parents.
It goes my wife, the other sibling, if there's no guests, and then me.
And wait, and one of the woos in
And
there.
one of the
for you.
not the 4th to 10th woo, but maybe the top 2 or 3.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
So, what age will you guys get your kids cell phones?
So this year was the first we got an Apple Watch.
How old?
She's 10. So there have been many situations where she was like out on a sleepover or whatever. I was like, I really wish she could like text me or something like that.
Right.
And so this was like the age where I was like, all right, that's where I'm gonna do it. I think we're thinking we're gonna try to hold off till like 8th grade for a cell phone.
Yeah.
I almost got my daughter an Apple Watch for Christmas, and she's 8.
Yeah.
You're right. I do think that's different though than a cell
Right,
phone.
right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you can still call and stuff, but like, really, it's just for like, please just text us if there's anything that's happening.
Right.
Let us know.
Mhm.
Right.
This is the perfect toy daddy conversation. This is a little
It is.
toy daddy segue. I am gonna try my hardest to push for 13 because that is the social media age that I can kind of be like, look, you're not even supposed to be on these apps until you're 13, but so and so has it. Well, I'm
Yeah,
just
so
saying,
that-
I'm following the rules.
Yeah,
I
so
the
that's
argument
like
that you're gonna
7th or
say,
8th
like,
grade.
But Dad, you're always on social media.
But 7th
I
grade
know.
is like
now.
12, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
12,
13,
13,
12 or
7th grade,
13.
yeah.
I think that's when we got Angie the cell phone.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a Christmas present, and I think things do change once they have a cell phone.
Yeah.
Not for the better or for the worse. It just
Yeah.
it's a kind of a coming of age milestone, sort of.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Ours was like when we got our license. Remember getting your license and you're like, I
Totally.
can go anywhere. And that novelty did not it didn't end for me in terms of that feeling till I was like in college. I was like, still in like college, I can go anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're like 22. Your roommate's like, shut up.
Like, yeah, last week, I can go anywhere, guys.
Yeah.
You're about to graduate, man.
I will throw out because I just, just as a helpful thing, because my kids, I still have like, years to go until I have to deal with it. But I think it always comes down to monitoring and knowing and being active and talking to your kids. I feel like that's the biggest thing, is not just letting a kid go off on their own, because there's so much garbage out there on YouTube or shorts or TikToks, and you just got to know what they're consuming, because it's out of your control.
Dude, you're talking to like 3 Asian dads here.
There are apps you can secretly put on the phone. I'll
Yeah.
talk right.
Well, I'm gonna have to. You guys are. I told you.
I'll talk to you in like 8 years.
Exactly. You guys, you blaze the trail for me, and then I catch up. But I teach middle school, Mitch, so I teach 7th and 8th graders.
Oh,
So
okay.
and
Yeah,
it's
gotcha.
mass media,
Wow.
so I'm literally,
Wow.
so it's just an interesting dynamic
you
of
know,
raising 2 little ones, dealing with
Yeah.
kids that are coming into me, in my world, and like, all right. So I see it
So
all.
we've never done like the tracking apps or nothing like that. We
even like
basically-
Find My Friends, like, unless you, I mean, I don't know if your iPhone.
Yeah, it has it, but we didn't do any of it.
Got it.
Yeah,
Well,
we didn't do any of it.
your daughter seems like she's pretty
Well
straight and
adjusted.
narrow in terms of well-adjusted. Good job.
I don't know because I've never tracked her or anything.
Yeah.
Windows
You
closed,
just
Mitch.
created
Windows
Mitchel Wu
closed.
photography to by the way, you created Mitchel Wu photography to spy on your daughter. Yeah, he's like
I prefer the word monitor and keep
Monitor,
safe.
yeah.
monitor.
Observe.
So obviously you
Observe.
weren't like sneakily trying, like you're like, oh, Mitchell. She's not like Mitchel Wu photography. Who is this?
Yeah.
Oh, and I'm sure she wouldn't create like another account just to,
Yeah.
Oh, the burning accounts. Yeah.
It would just be funny if Yimbo created Mitchel Wu photography in like 10 years to spy on our kids.
That's just
This is what Mitchell did.
extra L, you'll be good.
Yeah, extra L.
Yeah,
to use.
to use.
But I mean, Mitchell, in terms of your photography, like now, like you have all, I mean, every single like thing that you do, you already had a good foundation of photography skills. Now, when you continuously shoot toys, are you always like shooting for another goal? Or are you finding out something new, whether it's from Johnny or from other toy photographers? Like, what are your goals, and how are you continuously being a lifelong learner in terms of the toy photography piece?
I think if anything, I mean, Johnny is definitely next level. So I just, sit back behind my phone and just admire totally. For my own personal goals, it's not so much to do with technique as much as like storytelling. It's like, how can I tell a better story than what I tell right now? Because for me, I feel like that is what interests me most about the medium of toy photography. I mean, we've given these amazing toys that you can almost create unlimited amount of stories from, and they can be so far out there, but it's okay because it's toys, these toys come baked in with their own personas and you know everything about these toys because they have history built into them. They've been on the movies, they've been in the comic books. How can I show something that's different than what we already know? That's what kind of like really interests me about toy photography, is like showing people and showing myself something that is unexpected. And I feel like my most impactful images to me, and probably to a lot of viewers, is when I show something completely unexpected. It's not showing a character as we really know them, but it's showing them something that they haven't seen before. So that's kind of that's what I feel really drives me, and what I feel is the most personally satisfying and fun about toy photography. Yeah, which is totally different from the client work, because the client work doesn't want to see me doing something wacky. Normally, Boss Fight is different. That's why like they're so amazing, because they turn me loose. A lot of times it's licensed product, and it has to be approved, and I can't get too crazy with IP of somebody else is licensed. But Boss Fight has their own lines, proprietary lines, and so it's just no holds barred, basically. So they're pretty cool to work with in that way.
Nice.
Yeah.
Are they like, would you be able to mash up universes from Boss Fight lines that they have? So like you can kind of get Popeye and Strawberry Shortcake, hanging out together, things along that nature. Like, would they be okay with that? Because that's within their.
They'd be okay with that. The licensors wouldn't be okay with that. Probably. But as far as Boss Fight lines, they have their own. They have quite a few of the lines of their own, and totally can mix universes in those.
Nice.
Those.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Absolutely. Yeah, like Strawberry Shortcake with I don't know, Umbrella Academy, probably not cool.
Fair.
That makes sense. All right.
Oh, I gotta look at those. Are those Umbrella Academy figures out? I have to look into Boss Fight a little bit.
They've been out. They're 1/18th scale.
They are 1/18th.
Okay, so I have seen those. Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah,
they did really
talk
well.
of
with them.
112.
No Yimbo. Stick to your scale, man.
No, that's what Mitch. Do you know if there's any talk of enlarging that scale of
I don't-
Umbrella Academy?
Not that
Well,
I've
they
heard
can
of.
big in it.
Okay,
Not that
They're
I-
big in-
It's
But you
big
know
in
what?
it for the
There's-
final
there's no
season.
reason why you can't go 1/18th once in a while.
That's true.
Yeah.
What a great show. I never read the comics, but did you guys you're on top of those or no?
I've
Umbrella
never read
Academy?
the comics, but just the show.
Yeah. 118, Chris. I can't do it.
118.
scale. I can't break.
I mean, I think they're rather inexpensive. You can always get like one or two of your favorites and see if you like it.
That is true. I did
And
see
then-
them at a toy show. That's why I'm like, oh, that's right. I did. See
There's
them.
no real difference in shooting them though, if that's what you're thinking about.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you talking about the Boss Fight Studios line?
Or in
Yeah.
general. Or in general. Yeah. 1/18th scale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that makes sense. I dabble with Star Wars vintage collection from time to time in 1/18th, and
Yep.
they're nice. You know, sometimes they have features that are different than Black Series.
I took a huge. So I collected a lot when I was in college, like the Toy Biz, Marvel Legends, and I took a big break in between. And then what got me back into it were those Marvel Universe, like
Oh yeah,
3/4 inch scale, pretty much 1/18th. They came out with every single figure, and what it reminded me of when I was a little kid, like trying to find all those little figures, like Star Wars and all that. They did that. That got me back into collecting like really badly. So,
Yeah.
and they were like fairly cheap too. I mean, cheap as in like maybe $8, $9.
We
Yeah.
can't even talk about prices from 5 to 10 years ago, guys. Like
Yeah,
everything was
I
cheap.
mean, Marvel Universe was like 12 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh
Talking
my
about gas
gosh,
prices.
that's so
Yeah.
painful.
Marvel Universe was at the tail end when I started collecting Marvel Legends again. So it was few. Like it was like in the last like 3 waves that I had of Marvel Universe, and that just led me to 6-inch.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But there is a lot
Yeah.
of good stuff, like Trevor's saying. Like he's starting to get into 1/18th despite his 1/6 shooter name,
Yeah.
Trevor.
Yeah,
Well,
He's-
he's also a big
He's shrinking down.
Yeah. 1/6,
Change the
1/12,
name.
1/18. All good.
But I've heard great stuff. Joy Toy, Haya Toys, like there's like
Oh,
the
they look
boss-
they look
oh,
amazing.
Oh,
Okay.
was it Joy? Is it Joy Toy? No, it's what's the Dark Soy ones? It was the 1/18th, almost like samurai figures.
I don't know.
Not
Dark
sure.
soy.
I think that's what the line is called.
Mm,
I don't know that one.
It's a good name. It's a good name.
Those are
it
good.
is a good name. Darth Indominus. What is everyone's dream figure? For me, it's a fully articulated Zillow beast from the Clone Wars. Oh,
Ooh, that'd be a good one.
that would be a good one. Let's go down this line. Mitchell, what would your dream figure be?
It's really tough. I don't really have dream figures, but I did see. Oh, I don't even know who it was by, but it was an amazing action figure by. It was I think 1/6 scale of Buzz Lightyear from the latest Buzz Lightyear movie.
Oh, the electronic one where it kind of
I
It's
don't
kind of like life size, right?
life size.
Like
Oh,
this
as far as
one,
like,
like
this
no,
big?
no, no, no. It was like 1/6 scale.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
comes
Isn't
in
there a
like
new
a
one
special
that's like this
case, and like I think
Yes.
it's like the suit like works a little bit, like the
Is that
jetpack
1/6
pops
scale?
open. I think it's 1/6.
Yeah,
Oh,
I think that's the one. It was amazing, and I thought
Mm.
at the time when I saw it, like, oh, that's really cool. I would love to have that, but I never got it.
Mhm.
eBay.
Still time.
But anyway, I don't really have that many dream figures. I kind of just I love what I have, and when I have time to shoot them, I will. But
Yeah.
I'm so,
And
I typically typically shooting like client stuff. So, and that's where boss fights comes in, and not plugging them at all. But their stuff is the stuff that I would shoot on my own, honestly. So
Yeah.
and that's the thing that, last time we talked was many of us are collectors first, right? And
Right.
toy photographer second. You are truly a toy photographer first. And it's not necessarily, toy collecting is not a hobby for you.
Not at all. And I'm sorry to say that, because I know I'm among like toy collectors. But
you lost us at drilling holes in your pictures. So
I mean, I'm curious, and like that might lead me to buying two of things.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
one with the
Might get
hole, one
pricey,
without.
Oof. All right.
I mean, what's a hole in the back?
Okay.
It's just one hole, one. It's fine.
I want to say it
You
was
can
way
Photoshop
too-
fill the hole.
I want to say it was way, but there was a funny comment about like get the mezcos going.
Oh yeah. No thanks.
It's like, oh god,
only
no.
drill your mezcas.
Oh, that's it. Yeah.
Hashtag only draw your mask.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the one thing I noticed. But I mean, that's what I appreciate about you. Again, you have this foundation of toy photography where all of us are kind of still like learning the photography piece too, as well as telling a great story with the fun figures that we collect.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I envy the toy collectors, the toy enthusiasts, because I mean, if I look behind you guys in your rooms, it's like you have so many toys that are just waiting to be photographed, so
And some have never. They're so sad
some have never been photographed.
because I buy them all to shoot. I do. I swear. At least that's what I tell myself and my wife.
I don't lie. You don't need to lie to yourself, Yimbo. I don't lie to myself. Some toys I've purchased, I know I'll never shoot.
Yeah, that's true.
You just want it. You just want it.
It's okay to have.
Yeah.
Well, going back to that question again, like, Yimbo or No Chewing, what is your like dream figure that you wish that they would make?
And I'm going to say that's hard for me too, because
That you want them to make?
Or what was the question? Yeah.
Oh, that's a different question than I had.
What is your dream figure for me? Yeah. Was this made?
Oh, I was thinking.
No, I think this is aspirational. Like this, you wish.
Yeah, I think this is what you wish someone would make. That's how I interpreted it.
Oh, yeah, Mitch. All right, so we can come back to you if you need a second to think about it.
Right.
Unless you got something. You got something?
No, I mean, it goes back to like the Princess Mononoke stuff. I want
Yeah.
those types of figures.
Mhm.
I want those types of figures. Yeah.
I think I'm with you on that. You had said something interesting. It's like we're in toys right now. We're in a sweet spot. You could essentially have 90% of the characters that you do want.
Right.
The big ones, But for me, I think the two things that I think of would be amazing to see. I always talk about Arcane, League of Legends, that animated series on Netflix really captivated my imagination. Paid homage to a lot of different shows, but I thought that would make a really cool toy line. And if I circle back to Disney, there's a Cirque du Soleil show. That's a Disney one. It's in Disney Springs called Drawn to Life. And a toy line based upon that story would be amazing. That would be a dream for me to have.
Mm-hmm.
It's about a little girl that gets sucked into her father's art desk and goes on a journey of grief and discovery of animation.
Wow.
And so a lot of the characters are these kooky like art stuff, like the desk comes alive. The villain is a crumpled up piece of, I'm spoiling it for people, crumpled up piece of paper, like
the end.
there's this cool pencil person. And yeah, I would love a toy line of that.
That's great. Yimbo?
Well, I think kind of playing off of what Mitch was saying because I know that this is going to be me too. I'm so ingrained in what my kids enjoy. Now, some of it I've gotten them into, like they know all the superheroes, they know the characters, they know who I love, but like for their fandom, it's going to be really interesting to see like highly articulate, like SHF doing Paw Patrol,
Oh.
like in 10 years. And I'm going to be like, yes, I'm going to get Ryder. This is going to be amazing. I'm going to get all of the Paw, and I'm going to be that guy buying toys from my kids' fandom to then
You're gonna be
photograph.
rocking a T-shirt that says "Chase" on the case.
Yeah, but like in 10 years when it's all said and done, and this is, and I'm just thinking of lines like that they're super into.
Oh, if I get a Revoltech Bluey figure, I'm gonna be
right,
Oh,
exactly,
over the
right.
moon.
That'd be great.
That's what I mean. Like they have all of the kid toys. We can, but in terms of the stuff that like SHF, like as that'll be really funny. So I feel like those type of things are the things that I can't even imagine being made currently. That would be fun one day.
Oh, could you imagine what nostalgia is gonna evolve into in the next 10 to 20 years?
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
I've mentioned this before, like early on, but I think Mitchell's like nostalgia for Princess Mononoke and kind of like some of the nostalgia that we're talking about in terms of just being a toy father and toy daddy and all that. Have you guys seen Marcel the Shell with shoes on?
Oh,
I've seen clips of that.
So there's a movie that came out. I mean, it started off as a YouTube thing. So I got the little like figure right
Oh,
here.
that's awesome.
I love that movie. It just brings back all kind of. It's a very emotional movie, and it brings back like all the feels. And it's like, again, stop motion. You're like, wow, how long did this movie take to make?
Mhm.
But check it out. That's not the toy obviously they made the toy. Now, a toy that I really wish they would make is something. When I was 9 years old, I had this vision, and Mitchell, I don't know if you. So I made my own comic books.
Oh, cool.
And I created this character called Laser Man, and basically Laser Man was a copy of Iron Man, but there was one distinct feature, and that was a big L on the forehead and a big L over here.
Okay.
So fast forward, when is that, 9 years old? So like fast forward like 30 years later, like pretty much like 31 years later. There was one rainy day, and I was like, I had this Iron Man figure, and I was like, let's make a Laser Man. So I spent like the entire day just so giddy about making Laser Man. My wife actually told me, she's like, I've never seen you smile for that long doing such an activity.
Nice.
And I was like, thank you.
It's just waiting for it.
Yeah.
Give me that Laser Man.
So, and I do this with every guest, by the way.
I feel so
going
special.
on for a year.
So, like, I just want to show you my work. I think you'd be impressed. This is not toy photography, but I did work really hard on this guy. And
you turned out great.
Right?
Laser Man. I love the L.
Yeah, right there. Laser Man.
The L looks raised. It's so good.
Yeah, it is. Well, because I put so much paint on that. But this started this whole thing on our show where we came up with like a whole plot for Laser Man. I wrote this like 5-page script to it of his origin. Someday we'll do some sort of reading for it, or it needs to go through some edits. But the best thing about, and I always go back to this every show, best thing about the people in the chat are just their ideas and how they take things next level. Wade actually made a Laser Man like figure.
Oh, wow.
Put like Laser Man there.
That's cool.
And put like his origin story right there. Pretty awesome.
That is.
But I wish they would make that. So that's what I'm just saying. So
we have new fan merch ready for Laser Man.
The hashtags
now
get
this
lazed.
one makes sense.
Yeah, get lazed.
This one makes sense.
Yeah.
By the way, our boy 88, I admire the commitment to the pitches every Wednesday. And then Chris mic drops at the end of every Like, and that's amazing. That's Laser Man.
That's Laser Man. I'm sure we'll come back to it. Who's ready? Story time with Toy Father. Digs Figs. Oh man, stay lazy. If Chris doesn't narrate the beginning of every Laser Man episode, we lose out. So yeah, Laser Man. I was like, how am I gonna bring this one in?
How do you always bring it?
I don't know,
It's
but
amazing.
Where there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah, it was that. What would your dream figure be? An official Laser Man would be pretty great. Can't wait to see some of those. Where do I get that one off?
So I wouldn't say these are my dream figures, but I have two animated series that I recently watched during lunch. One was Johnny turned me on to. It's called Primal. Have you guys seen that?
Primal.
heard of it.
No.
It's on Max, and it's about there's no like dialogue because it takes place whenever the caveman years were, but it's a caveman and basically like a T-Rex and the adventures they go on. It starts off incredibly dark. The creator, I forget his name, but he's the guy that did Samurai Jack. If you know Samurai Jack.
Oh yeah,
Samurai Jack is super cool.
yeah.
And you can kind of see like it's the same creator. The other animation thing that I absolutely loved that my daughter kind of introduced me to is called Scavenger's Reign. Have you seen that?
Oh,
I think that's also on Max, but that is about like a space expedition that gets stranded on like a planet, and it is trippy, but it is so good.
What is that one called again?
Scavenger's Reign, like REI.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that one's really cool.
Next question: when are you doing toy photography for Max? Because you seem to be plugging them often.
I don't know, but that's how I get these gigs. You know,
There we go.
And then hopefully it happens.
You manifest them, yeah.
Manifest.
Somehow Max reaches out to you for toy photography, a documentary, and then like, and can you bring this Laser Man that I heard about on that show? It sounds incredible.
By the way, got a great
will.
area for you.
I will.
Yeah, Trevor brings up a suggestion that I was going to say. Have you seen Blue Eyed Samurai?
No, but Johnny also I heard of that, but then Johnny kind of validated it. He said it was really cool. I think my friend, actress Ming Na, she has a voice. She plays a role in that somewhere.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she does. Wow, yeah, that's kind of that's amazing. I would love to meet her someday. But yeah, that's a great show. It's a great story. I do think you would enjoy it.
Yeah.
Basically, the story behind it was the writer is half Japanese, half Caucasian, and she wrote that story because of how she felt as an outsider in both worlds. And it's actually just a really amazing story of I can't say any more or else I'll spoil it, but just watch it. It's awesome. So
I think you sold me on that.
yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, it's sitting in my queue, so maybe after Bookie, I'll start watching it.
Bookie, yeah, I gotta put that one down too.
I thought you said Nookie, Mitch, and I'm like, oh, all right.
This is not that kind of show. Come on,
Fred
now.
Durst. Yeah, Fred
It's a
Durst.
Fred Durst documentary. Come on, Yimbo.
Fred
This
Durst.
is a G-rated, maybe PG-rated show.
Should we go to
By the way, Wade hit you with Honda Civic spoilers, Toy Father. No.
oh my gosh. There was a time, so one of my first cars out of like in my professional career, I got a Honda Accord, and I so wanted a spoiler on that thing.
You remind me of my dad and my mom because no matter what car they wanted or got, they always had to have a spoiler put on.
For speed,
Really?
man. For speed.
For speed.
Yeah, for
It
speed.
keeps the car safer by keeping it closer to the ground of air.
Did they like Fast and Furious? Like, did they like
They never
those?
saw it.
Okay.
They never saw it.
And I don't know how to take that compliment coming from Mitchel Wu. I don't even know if it's a compliment. You reminded
was an
me of your
observation.
mom and dad.
It was an observation. It was not an insult, nor was it a compliment. But I have a side point since you mentioned Fast and Furious. Paul Walker was in his tragic accident like
Mhm.
5 minutes from where I live.
Oh, really? That was
Yeah.
right
Really?
near you?
Yeah, it's like literally right at the gymnastics place where we used to take my kid for gymnastics.
Oh man.
And it was it was tragic obviously, but it was a zoo after it happened in this town just because so many of his fans and
Yeah.
car enthusiasts kind of came into this area.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, I don't know how to segue out of that one.
Yeah, I just started singing. It's been a long. I'm like, I can't do that. And now I'm doing.
I mean,
it anyway.
I stopped watching the Fast and Furious after maybe the first 2 movies. I don't.
Oh,
I
you
don't
got to
know.
watch the third one. Tokyo Drift is like a guilty pleasure. I could
remember
watch.
I
that
think
one.
if you get to The Rock, there's a sweet spot where you're like, it goes bad to good somehow. You're
Yeah.
like,
Really?
okay.
And then it got bad again with the
And
Rock.
then got bad again.
Because
It's
the
just
drama between The Rock and what's his name?
Jason.
Vin
Family.
Diesel? No, Vin Diesel.
Oh, Vin Diesel.
yeah,
Family.
yeah,
Family.
yeah. Family.
Well, I got to say, Mitchell, like, you pointed out that, 3 of us are Asian. Like, Tokyo Drift, like, I think it pays a lot of respect to the Asians.
Cool.
It really does.
I'll check it out.
It's good. You're going to be, I know Mitchell's going to watch
Now the
it
way
and
No
he's like,
Chewing's laughing, I'm wondering if you're being sarcastic.
no,
yeah, totally. It stars a white male protagonist, and
Yeah,
he falls in
that's
love
true.
with a
it's
pretty
a
sure she's
classic,
British woman.
it's a classic white savior comes into the Asian country. Classic.
His
Nice.
best friend is Lil Bow Wow, and they learn to drift from an
Yeah.
Asian guy.
Okay.
Han, he is my favorite. I love Han.
Han
Han's cool.
is great. Han is nice. He goes on. He's great actor.
The only Han I'm familiar with is the one from Enter the Dragon. I don't know if you guys seen that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was the dude at the end with the knives that was the knife hand that was slashing Bruce Lee.
Yeah.
He was the
kinda
bad guy.
Yeah,
he was the
yeah.
bad guy. Yeah.
Han. All right. Well, hey, we've gone into so many different directions. Why don't we try to get focused once again with our slide deck and then go off into tangents, because that will at least push us along. So let's get into, there is a structure to this sometimes.
Believe it when I see it.
Yeah.
I'd also like to pause and Wade creates comment. Japanese motors are only cool when it's in a Mustang. It's a plot point. I'm just saying.
You got to watch.
I will admit, I enjoy the movie. So
Side note, I had a Mustang GT back in the 80s.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Did it have a spoiler?
Well, it had a little one. I mean, it was like built into the trunk, so it wasn't like a separate spoiler.
Oh,
It was just like a little like a little thing that came out.
got it.
Spoiler-ish.
Spoiler-ish. Yeah.
Spoiler adjacent.
Yeah. Spoiler adjacent.
I want to know more. Like, so every car you had growing up had a spoiler? Is that what you were saying?
Me?
Yeah. Or your parents just wanted one with a spoiler?
No. I mean, when I grew up, when I was a kid, they had station wagons and they didn't have spoilers on the station wagons.
Yeah.
But after, I mean, they had an Oldsmobile, they had Hondas, and they actually went out of their way to put spoilers on them. So
That is hilarious. Well, TPC Top 10, and this is the Toy Pick Community Top 10 photos from last week, and we're going to celebrate them. But before we do that, let's talk about what's making us happy right now. Mitchell, what's making you happy right now?
this
you
cognac, this cognac white is making me happy right now.
Nice.
No, seriously. What's making me happy and filled with gratitude is just being able to do what I love, right? On a day-to-day basis. I mean, there's headaches. I mean, like any job, but and there's days upon days where I don't shoot a thing because I'm working on other stuff like, editing or finances or marketing, but yeah, I mean, I couldn't imagine a better career for myself, and it really makes me happy. And I feel so lucky. I feel really lucky to have this. So, and I wish that everybody would feel whatever their career is, that they would feel the same way, because if they don't, then they need to make a change. And I know for a fact that you can make that change, because this is like a motivational speech right now.
Yeah, do it. This is what we're all about here.
But seriously, I mean, I mean, when Johnny introduced me to toy photography in 2015, I was already in my 50s. So, and I hear people like in their 30s saying, shit, you know, it's like, I can't, I mean, I'm locked into what I'm doing. It's too late. And this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. That's a bunch of BS, because if you're not, I hate that I'm giving this motivational speech right now.
No,
I'm loving it. I'm like,
Yimbo does motivational speeches. I do self, you know, mental health. So
yeah,
it's all good. It's
you're
all good.
seriously to me.
I mean, seriously, it's like, no matter what it is you're doing, like, I tried to really impress my wife and I really, because my wife is a ceramic artist. She's a teacher. She teaches ceramics and sculpture.
Oh, wow.
She loves what she does. And so what we really try to impress upon our daughter is that it's not always about, you know, the money. If you really go after something that you love and enjoy, then that money should hopefully find you in some way. But I mean, how many rich people do you know or see that, you know, you can tell they're not happy? And so at this point, it's like, having gone through what I've gone through, like, you got to keep looking for what makes you happy, you know, even if that's your side hustle and you're working this job that you hate, it's like, keep plugging away at this other thing. And someday, you know, who knows? I mean, that makes me happy is what I do, honestly. Yeah.
That is probably the best "what's making me happy" like speech that we've done. Like, I was gonna say this figure was making me happy, but now I got.
No, you put that
change
down.
it.
Put that
I'm
down.
gonna change it.
Dig deeper, Toy Father. you dig deeper. You find that inner Wu.
I can be the 20th Wu.
Maybe
Wu
the 19th, you
with
know?
3 U's. Woo.
I do say this every week, though, and I've had a heck of a week this week, and it just filled with like life issues that hit me in the face really hard. Still continue to, and I'm still trying to get through it. This was something I was looking forward to. But hanging out with No Chewing and Yimbo on a weekly basis really does help me. And just like, you know, breaking a fourth wall, like J-Shot, Machu, Toy, No Chewing and Yimbo did a really nice gesture for me that it really was so nice that I like they supported me when I felt like really stressed out with some of my things. So thank you guys. And I'm going to move on before I cry. So No Chewing, what's up with what's making you happy, buddy?
Wait a second. Before you go to No Chewing, I mean, I know what you do for a living, and I'm assuming you love it, you know?
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, yeah, I think it's, you know, I'm also in education. There's a lot of like stress there, but that's not what was stressing me out. Is life stuff. But but yeah, I mean, I enjoy it, but honestly, like, there is other stuff that I wish I did, you know. Yimbo and I.
But that's the thing. It's like, I'm sorry to interrupt, but that's the thing. It's like, I went to art school and I had a vision for my path, and I got so far off my path, you know, until, I don't know, around 2006 when my older brother passed away and I had the worst job of my life. And that's when I finally, you know, decided to make a change. So there's no timeline on change, you know. It's like, when you're ready. You know, when the planets align, that's when it happens. When you've had enough, that's when it happens, you know?
Yeah. And what you were saying really just speaks to me in terms of like, you know, it can happen. You just have to make it happen. And something my grandfather always told me was, you're never ready for that change, but you'll know when you have to make it.
Right.
Like, but you're never going to be ready, but that's okay. You just make the change.
Yeah. Yeah, keep that open mind, man.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, like I knew that there was a bunch of people that have had success 40 years and older, but I just was like, Google, just real quick. I was like, all right, let me just throw out something. Stan Lee was 39 when he created the Fantastic Four.
Wow.
I'm just saying, like,
Was that the
so
first thing that he made, or was it
that was
Spider-Man
in
first?
terms of it was just shy.
Fantastic
The next
Four.
4 years, he created the Marvel Universe, Spider-Man, X-Men. So that the Fantastic Four he was 39.
I think the
And
story
again,
goes is that he was on the verge of quitting
Mm-hmm.
comics altogether, and his wife convinced him to write one story for him, and it was the Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Hey, Samuel Jackson, 43 in Jungle Fever, 1991. I'm just saying. So, what Mitch is saying, audience, is that it's true. Like, it's never. It just takes always. It's a matter of will, commitment. You know.
He
and
was
just
31 when he did Jungle Fever.
What did I say?
39?
No, he was 43 in
He was
1991.
43. Okay.
There's
How many F-bombs has that guy dropped since then?
Oh,
A lot.
That's kind of like his thing, really.
Yeah.
I mean, he changed Snakes on a Plane.
Yeah.
That was because people were like, "What do you mean it's not rated R?" They literally changed the whole trajectory of that movie and the release.
Yeah.
Oh man.
No chewing. What's making you happy right now?
I'm a little self-serving. You know, I just got back from a Disney trip, so I'm riding high on that still. And you know, it's always good times with my my family in Disney World. They act probably the best I ever see them act in you know, the wilds. And you know, lots of good memories. As I said before, it's the third time in like 18 months or so I've done that trip. This one was a shorter one because I'm trying not to spend all my money. And you know, just those memories and those photos are making me happy this week.
How do you guys have I'm sorry. I listened to every word you said. How do you guys not have reflections on your eyeglasses like I do?
Are you using the ring light?
No. Is that what it is?
Well, I have a ring light, but I have it angled.
I have it angled. My lights are
So-
angled.
You have a
Like
ring light too?
Yeah.
It's like a diagonal.
So if I put it here, like, you see it, but
Oh yeah.
it's angled away from me.
Yeah, so it's bouncing off.
I'm
my
guessing
desk,
yours is like right
basically.
on you, like
It's not a ring light. It's just
a light.
It's just this light. Whoa! Looks like a lightsaber.
Yeah. So maybe you place your lights how you do your photography, like straight up, right? Wait, no, look down. It's not. Yeah, you got. Oh, wait, no, look up.
Right there. Don't move.
Don't move. That's perfect.
I don't think we've ever posed. We've talked about posing toys. I don't think we've ever posed a
Ooh,
guest on
That's a new
stream
segment.
before.
Pose
Pose
the
the
photographer.
Do you guys know that, at least with living people, that when you pose a person, I'm going to assume it's the same way with toys, is that if you can bend something, you should, even if it's just a little. You shouldn't have locked joints.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's a great tip. I don't. Yeah, I don't think I've thought of that intentionally. But
Right.
yeah, they're just like something to focus on. Yeah, that's a good point.
Something to think about.
Especially with the 30 points of articulation some of our toys had. but it's true. The
Yeah.
smallest little subtle things. Like that's what I was doing on this buzz before. And
Yeah.
just a little angle, just to get, and yeah, broke up the elbows just a little bit.
Right. Yeah.
A yoga pose of Amadeus Cho.
I want that
Nice.
Build-A-Figure.
Nice.
He's solid. I like him so
Yeah.
much.
Is he worth like buying all of the figures?
Sure.
Yeah. I
Who was
guess
in that
not.
wave? I can't even tell you who was in that wave.
Commander Rogers. It's the Marvels wave. So
Mm,
Miss
that's
Marvel, Captain Marvel. Was it Photon? Was her name?
Yeah, Photon.
And then it's Karnak, Marvel Boy, and Commander Rogers. I do love the Build-A-Figure though. He's cool.
Yeah, he looks great. All right, well, let's move on. Let's move on to so Mitchell. We all have issues here when it comes to collecting.
Okay. You didn't really have to add that last part, but yeah.
We all have
So
problems.
last year we tried to do a challenge called the 52 figure challenge, and that was just to buy 52, just to keep 52 figures, like buying new 52 figures under 52. We surpassed that. Like I think my total was like 227, something like that by the end of the year.
152 was my final total.
Wow.
And
I'm
Yimbo's still counting.
Yimbo refuses to participate.
He's still
No, I
counting.
don't refuse. I just get nervous.
He doesn't number it. It's just dots. He bullets all his stuff.
So No Chewing and I were talking over nachos one night, and we were saying we need, like, I felt like I was like, I need to really curb this. Like sometimes it's overwhelming, and I'm like, I need to like just wait, like and just like make sure that I'm in control. So we decided to at least, well, No Chewing wants to get under 100. I decided to cut mine in half and say, let's get under 100. And this time I'm including everything. So these are pre-orders that I did in 2023, maybe even 22, including them knowing that they will release in 2024. And then also some things that I bought in December because I haven't even opened them yet. So No Chewing is at 20.
I'm at 20.
Nice.
There's a lot of
Nice.
pre-orders I'm going into 2024 with. I think it was 16 pre-orders. So ultimately on this list, I've only gotten a few actually physically in hand.
Man, you got a
Yeah.
lot of Revoltechs.
It's a Revoltech year. It's
Revoltech.
The joke in the chat is like who's the first to get to 100. So
That's yeah.
all right, we got Yimbo is at 6.
No, it's not. It's the very least.
Mezco
I told you,
Alfred.
right?
Mezco Alfreds? Those are Mezco Alfreds?
So I'm getting that. It's used, but it's going to be new to me. And
There's a
I'm
Mezco Alfred. Hold on.
Like the butler?
Yeah.
Okay.
What?
Yeah. So Lago Figs, my boy. So it's paid for. I just got to meet up with him one of these days.
So
he's got a
this year
Mezco
you're
Alfred.
getting 2 Alfreds.
Not just that. There's also then the so there's the retro animated, the animated series, but then there's actually the retro Alfred too from the 5-inch, like the Batman 66
Yeah,
that they're doing
yeah.
comic books. I have him
Yeah.
pre-ordered too. So I'm really up to 19. I have 19. A lot of Joes. I did pre-orders.
19's not bad. I was worried for you, man, that you'd come in with like a list of 52 already.
No. I went. So this is through Target and Amazon. So, and these are the pre-order. I wrote down everything. So those are my two big ones. I still have. It's going to be higher. I'm probably at like 25 if I had to guess, which is insane. It's halfway through January.
Pre-orders are skewing the data. We're gonna shake it out by like April. It's gonna look a little bit more even.
Yeah. So before we get to mine, let's just preface with every week I find myself, I pre-ordered that last year. I got to put it on the list. So I've really only bought like 2 or 3 figures in the month of January, but the rest of these were pre-orders or things that I'm still waiting on, that everyone's waiting on when they ordered it. So mine is 2 slides, just warning you. So
Mitch, if you had any question who is winning this race to 100?
So yes, I have 15 on this one.
I mean, you're playing it very by the book.
I'm trying.
With Wall XD, that's a diorama. With Cat Lair, that's also a diorama.
True.
So,
but I know, but I put those on because I know I'm gonna really enjoy them this year.
Granted, the Cat Lair is $700.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
Ooh.
And then going back, so I'm at 38. Why?
And Chris, I forgot about my not Donnie and not Splinter, so that's at least another. I'm telling you, I'm probably close to 25.
Not Clark
Are you
Kent.
counting all the ones that I've ordered for you as well?
No.
Yeah. Well, when you said you got
No.
Doc Ock, I was like, I gotta add Doc Ock.
I gotta add Doc Ock. Yeah, he wasn't on my list yet. I know my list is a disaster. I gotta.
Revoltech Winter
Orca.
Soldier.
By the end of February, that's your goal, Yimbo. Update your list.
It's impressive, man.
It's starting to even out now. So, but I've been pretty good this year in just terms of just not buying stuff. So
It's the 17th.
I know it's the 17th.
These are all pre-orders. Like I said, I've only really bought like 3 or 4 figures. So
I mean, I look at your list and I'm impressed. These are all figures I want. So
Oh, I forgot about that 5K Joker. Yeah, I gotta put work in. My pile of loot is coming too soon.
Yimbo's at
Man.
38 already. Okay.
Don't worry, Chris. You're not alone. I'm probably closer to you than anybody else.
but the purpose of this list is just to try to give more thought to purchasing habits.
Right.
Try to course correct from what we've done in years past, be a little bit more thoughtful about what we're adding to our collections, because the space that we have, it's not growing. No one's getting a bigger house. No one's
Right.
building an extension that I'm aware of. And this should at least help.
Contractors are coming next week, but yeah.
It's a tiny house.
Are you serious or joking?
No, I'm joking.
Okay.
Could you
I
imagine?
mean, I feel like I'm definitely. Oh man, I'm lacking after seeing your guys' list. It's like
No, you're in control. That's what.
but
you
if
are.
you I mean, if you looked around, I have like every room has boxes of toys in it, and primarily it's like in this off my main office, and I do a lot of shooting in here. I have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 plastic large bins full of my toys, but then in every other room, basically, it's client toys. That I'm like, I had this discussion with my wife. It's like, oh man, we need to clean things up. I want to get rid of stuff, and I probably will, but I'm always afraid that the client's going to come back and say, we need you to shoot this now.
Right.
But then it's like we both agreed. It's like, well, then let's get rid of them, and they can send me new stuff to shoot. It's like it's really become an issue.
Mhm.
I mean, yeah, the one that you have has a hole in it. You need to get a
Yeah,
fresh one.
yeah. Like, can I have? I'm sorry, I have so many holes in the back of this one.
Oh, you needed it from that angle? Let me
sorry.
just tell you.
Sorry, that's the hard camera sides.
Oh man.
Yeah,
All
those
right.
lists are impressive, man. Very good.
Yeah. Well, we'll see.
Very good.
I just hope. I think I got everything, but like I said, every week there's something. So. All right, let's go into some toy news. There wasn't much on toy news this week, but I thought I'd put this one in. McFarlane is dropping this wave. Now, the Killer Croc is, if you look back at the DC Direct, the Killer Croc is something that goes for a high value. Like, I would say when I was like in a toy store, I was going for like $60, like in case. So the fact that they're releasing all of these is pretty awesome. I mean, not re-releasing, but it's a different, I think, tooling. But these are going to be fun. Are any takers, Yimbo?
I still have to fix my original Batman, because both legs have snapped off. Mitch talking about brittle plastic.
Yeah.
Like it just.
Yeah.
So I really love what I have. I don't like. I want to get. I'm still like picking and choosing. Like maybe I'll grab Two-Face and Croc. Who's the Build-A-Figure? Is it Croc? Is he?
There's no Build-A-Figure
no
on this
no
one.
Build-A-Figure, but you're paying the same price.
Is it 40?
I think these are 25 or 30.
Okay.
Batgirl looks neat.
Man,
That
those
girl
are
looks
beautiful.
good.
Those are really
Yeah.
beautiful, I think.
Yeah.
No, they look amazing. Like
I want
shooting them.
Two-Face.
I want the
like-
doll
Yeah.
You want the doll? She's a part of the 2-pack.
of Killer Croc.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take the Killer Croc doll.
I'll probably get Two-Face because that's one that I didn't have, and I think it does look cool. And honestly, Two-Face doesn't have to pose too much.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I actually have that too. I found that Two-Face DC Direct one. In
Well, it's
storage
time to
the
move
other
it
day.
now, Chris. Jeez.
Let's
Come
move
on.
it.
Toy
Should've
stock
moved
market.
2 months ago. Come on, move it.
Here's another piece of news: 78 points of articulation. The Boomer.
Oh.
I don't know if he's still in the chat, but no chewing. You put this one on.
Yeah, that's right. So he revealed that this is coming soon. It's going to be a corridor hallway diorama of stairs. It's supposed to be modular. The doors open and work. I think it's really cool. Last year, Chris and I both got 2 dioramas from 78 Points of Articulation: the Mirage street scene and the Edo Japanese, I don't know, villa, whoever it is. And they
The
are
Edo.
both they're both spectacular. So I put this on here just because his dioramas tend to go quickly. They're handmade. They're beautiful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's gorgeous.
Do you do like what do you have any dioramas, Mitchell? Do you make your own dioramas? I know you kind of like make your scenes, but do you have any dioramas that you use that you bring into rotation?
I have some extreme sets, you
Oh.
know.
Mhm.
That was through Boss Fight Studio.
Mhm.
And I've shot like I did an Umbrella Academy image in one of the dioramas.
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
And then I don't know if you saw the image that I did of Sweet Pea on a power line.
yep.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was borrowed from that. There was a cool brownstone building that he was coming off a line from, and that was I borrowed from Jack's.
Oh,
Oh, nice,
wow.
nice.
yeah, that was very handy. But I have some dioramas, but they're very client specific that I've had created by Tracy at Earthlings. I don't know if you're familiar with her.
Oh yeah.
She is amazing. In fact, she's working on 3 separate dioramas for me now.
Oh, wow.
The I won't say the problem, but the challenge is that each one of them are so property specific that you won't see them used for much else than what you'll see from the client work that I do, which I'll post when they're done.
Yeah.
2 of them are for. Are you guys familiar with the video game called Stumble Guys? Familiar with a game called Fall Guys?
I was about to say, is Stumble
think
Guys
so,
the
yeah,
new version of Fall Guys? Because my
It is.
nephew's been playing it.
It
Yeah,
is.
okay.
It is. And I don't know the history on it. It's 2 separate companies.
Sure.
I think Fall Guys was never available on mobile,
Okay.
and Stumble Guys is.
Right.
But if you look at both of them, they look very similar. And I think the premise is the same. They're like you're a character and you have to get through an obstacle course. But Tracy is creating 2 dioramas for that project. And then I have a really cool solo exhibition coming up in May at the Science Museum, Oklahoma. And the key art image that I'm creating is like a small actual museum, the Science Museum. And then I'm going to have some like huge dinosaurs around it and stuff. But she's also creating the scaled down version of the museum for me. And
Oh, wow.
yeah,
Cool.
yeah,
That's
she's
cool.
done stuff for me before for client work, and it's always been amazing. So and
Yeah.
I know she does some work for Plastic Action and some other people that so
Incredibly talented. She's probably one of the best diorama makers out there. She was featured on that show,
yeah,
that competition show, Best in Miniature.
yes,
And yeah, absolutely incredible artist.
yeah. I watched that show, and she was amazing, and I think she should have won, but there's always underlying factors. So she was amazing. Yeah. So yes, I do have dioramas, and I have the first thing that she worked on for me was this for an image I did for League of Legends, another video game.
Yeah.
And there were some ruins, and that actually did make it into a couple other images, but it's not like a typical diorama. It's just a standalone ruin here, like columns and stuff. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Question from Idiot Figs. Based off your experience, is it true that low paying clients tend to ask for more edits than higher paying clients?
I'm not sure because I won't work with low paying clients.
Boom, mic drop.
Yeah, that's
Okay, full
Yeah.
disclosure and honesty. I mean, when you're just starting out, I mean, you have no choice but to work at a rate that's lower than what you eventually will aspire to. It's going to be that way because you've got to build a foundation. But beyond that, yeah, it's like I have no problem saying no to clients because they're a lot of times their budgets don't align with what I'm looking for or my base rate. So I don't really have an experience with any client asking for more than other clients. One thing I learned when I was a wedding photographer is that the key to survival is to set expectations. And then eventually that turned into putting those expectations into the contract. So yeah.
It's great advice. I remember from Toy Talk, you gave some really great advice for people like looking to potentially branch out into that type of money gigs. That would be nice.
Honestly, there were a lot of toy companies, and there probably still are, that will ask you to say, hey, I'd love to give you some toys, and will you shoot them and post them on Instagram or social media for me? And that is the lowest pay that you could ask for, is like free toys. Although it's very tempting, and I understand that, especially if you're not, everybody can make their own decision. If you're not, if your intention is not to become a professional toy photographer and try to do it as a career, then I can see why that would be a very attractive offer. And I would never tell you to not do that. But if you have aspirations of becoming, like, doing it for as a freelancer, or even doing it as a living, then I would strongly, advise against doing that, because that kind of sets the bar for yourself. So you don't want to be known as the guy that does free work. Yeah.
All three of us are, yeah.
No. After you said that on Toy Talk, it changed my mentality on reaching out to companies.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was good advice, because of the idea of time and effort into something,
right?
And how much is that really worth? A $25, light.
Right. And don't forget, there's incredible value for the toy company to get those images, or for you to share them on your social media. I won't name the company, but when I first, like in my early days, they were one of the companies that reached out and said, hey, we'd love to give you some toys for free. I mean, give you some toys, and in turn, just, post them and tag us, blah, blah, blah. And I said no. And eventually the first job I think I did for this company was probably like $200 or $300 for the first image. And that's why I'm saying, you got to start somewhere. And that's where I started. But then I started reading about this company having record revenue years, like into the billions. And I'm going, this is not right. This is not right, that I'm working, like, I'm trying to put out the best of me and tell the best story and give them the best quality for $200 or $300. And so I was extremely vocal about this too. Like, I was posting, and it's kind of a risky move. I was posting this for everybody to see. It's like, this company they just had a record year of revenue, and yet they're only paying toy photographers this amount, or not even at all. And slowly, the message started getting through, and as a group, we started like getting a decent payment for the images. So, you can stand strong, and you may lose a job, you may lose a few jobs, but in the end, it works out for everybody. You're not undercutting other toy photographers. And I mean, it's the same with every basically art, and wedding photography was the same. There were wedding photographers who would go on to Craigslist and say, we'll shoot your wedding for free, blah, 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 because they want some images for the portfolio, whatever. But it's everywhere. So you have to make the decision to not be that guy,
That is great. That is great advice. And again, it goes back to like a saying that my grandfather always said to me: you got to risk a little to gain a little.
Yeah.
And that's where it is. Like, I think some of us are a little are afraid to like make that risk if like, and again, this is what separates you as like not a toy collector, but a toy photographer. And then many of us are like, free toys for the collection? Yeah.
No,
so,
I think
thinking about that, like, I do think, like you said, like, set yourself a standard. Like, what do you feel your worth is? And are you putting enough effort into that to equate what you're getting back?
Yeah.
And
I think the bigger difference is that, I staked my entire career on this, whereas a lot of people, I mean, yourself included, it's more of like a side hustle.
Yeah.
Where it's like, yeah, but you don't have like a mortgage riding on it, basically. So yeah, because you have a full-time job, and nothing against that. I mean, that's a fantastic place to be at. I would strongly suggest that nobody quit their job to pursue a full-time toy photography career. It can be done. I would never tell a person not to do that either. It's like,
Right.
if somebody came to me and this has happened, I really want to do it full time. And given where they were at the time and the work they were creating, go for it.
Mhm.
Well, I guess, whereas I said, my grandfather said, you got to risk a little to gain a little. In your case, risk all of it to gain it.
Yeah. And to my wife's credit, I mean, she's used to me like taking like incredible risks and wild career changes. So this was just one more. and 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 I'm so grateful that she has that tolerance for a husband that is willing to like turn on a dime and try something new. Because I've tried different things, and this is finally, and it all comes down to creativity and like feeling like I've gotten this, whatever I was doing was getting old. Disney was 6 years and a dream job for sure for 6 years. And then I started feeling like, my God, it's like the same characters over and over again. I'm doing the same thing over and over again. And so I left, and that was a big one. So the toy photography thing was just another in a long line of changes. But this is one that I will never get tired of. Like, I will never feel like creatively I'm lost or there's nothing left for me to do, because there's so much to do with toy photography. There is, as you know.
Man.
Well, Mitch, I want to highlight Wade Create said motivational speaking is definitely something you should think about, Mitch. You're pretty good at it. and it's true that my takeaway hearing that was also just like, it's what I try to instill in my students is like the level of self-confidence where it's the fine line of knowing your worth without being like egotistical. Like I try to like explain so much of life is but that fine line that divides it. And you, my friend, are like just it. I'm soaking up some of your like confidence in yourself. Like, oh my God, like no, but
that's
it's great.
Cool. That's cool. I like, one of the things I always say is that I've seen both sides of it. I was a wedding photographer. I worked in the most competitive price range there was for wedding photography. Like, my average wedding rate was probably $3,000, maybe a little less, give or take, like 500, give or take. And it was definitely the most competitive. So I would meet with potential clients, and they would love my work. And I think I was a pretty good, I think I ended up being a pretty good wedding photographer. Like, my images were pretty strong. But I knew that as soon as they left, that they were going to go talk to 2 or 3 more wedding photographers, and they were kicking tires. They wanted to see who could give them the best rate. Sure, if they saw a wedding photographer whose images were like crap, they probably wouldn't book them. But if they were in the kind of same quality level as where I was at, but they were lower priced, they would probably book them over me. I had no negotiating strength. I felt truly like I was a commodity. And then the turning point was 2015. My kid was going into high school. I didn't want to miss any more of her weekends. And so Johnny introduced me to toy photography, and that was the thing. And I totally know now the difference of being a commodity versus an asset. And I talk about this a lot, but being an asset means you control so much more than being a commodity. Like, you can say no to so many things. You can set your own price. You have the freedom to do so much more than you can if you were competing with 1,000 other photographers or whatever doing similar things to you. So it's like, I always say, find your niche, find some way to differentiate from what everybody else is doing. But I also know that like, okay, maybe a photographer comes and says, I'm going to be a photographer that focuses on people clipping their toenails. Okay. So it makes me think that, okay, not every niche is probably a good niche. You have to find a niche.
How did you know about Toy Father's other account, Toe Father?
Oh man, you just beat me. I was gonna say that's toe chewing.
we both have
Oh man.
weird only fig accounts.
So
Yeah,
while
only
I espouse being, finding that niche, it also has to be a niche that there's a market for. And to be honest, I didn't know if there was going to be a market for toy photography at all. But I knew that nobody else was doing it at the time. Timing really was probably a huge role in
Yeah.
what has happened in my career trajectory, because I think if I would have discovered toy photography now, it wouldn't be the same. It would
Mhm.
not be the same.
Yeah.
And I don't think 2015 was like obviously the beginning of toy photography, but it was early, and I think the time was right. Yeah.
And hey, that's so many success stories start with, and yeah, I just got lucky, and something that's okay, like
Yeah.
because if the other thing that's like you said, like as long as you are committed to something and doing it, again, then you don't know when the lightning's going to strike or the timing is going to work out. You're going to meet the right person,
Right.
but like again, some of what you're saying reminds me of like a Seth Rogen thing I heard where it's like if you don't stop trying, like you're not failing, you're just continuing on. But
Right.
if you stop, if you quit, that's when you get your answer. Like that's
Right.
it.
Yeah.
I think a really important thing is to like be open and have your opportunity radars always like
Yeah.
on high alert, because if you don't have that, then you could be missing so many, flags that are coming up in front of you saying, here, this is it. This is what you should be doing. And if you don't know that, then you're going to totally miss it. So like I said, as soon as I took that, the first click of the shutter, it was like the skies opened up for me, even though I didn't know if there was a career there for me, but I was going to try. Yeah.
That's
So-
funny. That reminds me of something that my daughter learned this past winter, both in sports and a little bit at Disney. I don't want to get into that part, but the notion that hesitation leads to disappointment. Like she knows that phrase now, and that's somewhat connected to what you're saying.
Yeah. I think that's true. Like if you see something that looks like something that could help you or turn into something amazing for you, then I agree with your daughter. Yeah.
I'd like to say I'm the one that taught her that exact phrase, but it definitely wasn't me.
I agree with you.
I think she came up with it herself, but she gives me credit. I don't understand why, but
Well, whatever you said, she took it as that came from you. So
yeah, she probably like clipped a bunch of different. I probably spoke for like 5 minutes, and she clipped this like 6 words.
it's like I don't know if my daughter's watching right now, but she probably won't want to hear this, but when she was like, we had her in Chinese school. My wife is Taiwanese. She speaks Chinese. I don't speak any Chinese. Okay. I worked in Taiwan in my 20s for like several years. And the only phrases I came up with was, 我要冰的 pijo, which is,
I want
want
cold beer.
yes. And, ni da tofa hao pianlian.
You are something beautiful.
No, your hair is beautiful.
Your hair is.
Yeah, those are the 2 things I learned when I was in my 20s in Taiwan.
That's all you needed.
Great. Your hair is beautiful.
Because I can order
beer?
a cold beer from a bartender who has beautiful hair.
There you go.
But anyway, my daughter was like, she went to Chinese school every Sunday from kindergarten through high school, or beginning of high school. And she did this Chinese poetry competition, and she had won first place when she was like maybe 6 years old. And we got her home, and she was taking off her shoes basically. And I heard her speak to herself. She didn't mean for anybody to hear this, but she says, hard work equals victory.
Oh, wow.
I know. And I mean,
That's
it's
awesome.
a pretty cool state. It's a pretty cool thing that I think applies to everyone.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a proud dad moment right there.
Yeah,
Oh,
for sure. For sure.
Yep.
For sure.
I studied Mandarin and went to China for 3 months and
Oh, cool.
in college. One phrase I do remember that I often said a lot was "wo bu shi hangaren," which means I am
Something
not
people.
Korean. I'm not. I'm not Korean.
My go-to phrase was "Wo ting bu dong." I don't understand.
What's in Wundong?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't
said that a lot.
understand. Yeah.
So I studied in Europe a couple of times, and going to Oktoberfest, I learned a few phrases, "Ein Bier bitte" and "Ach Bier bitte," and that translates into 1 beer, please, or 8 beers, please.
8.
And I never learned the can't order 2, can't order 3, can't order 4, 5, or 6, or 7, 1 or 8. Those are my options.
So how was Oktoberfest?
Good. I had 8 beers.
Yeah, I hope you started with 8
No,
first, then you went to the one phrase.
I was with a group, and like that, I just kept ordering that way. It was just insane.
Did you eat a lot of bratwurst?
Bratwurst.
Yeah, I ate a bunch.
Yeah.
A bunch of stuff after 8 beers.
Yeah.
I mean, gosh, we still have a lot to get through. But questions. Digsfix has a question, but you shoot Laserman for free, right? Asking for a friend.
This may have started where this is eventually going to be a thing where Chris is going to need your PO box so he can mail.
I've made villains. Like this is Mooderin. Like
oh, that's so cool.
Like this is Reflect Sean. His name is Sean. I have some others.
Dude, I have a whole list of superheroes with names like Reflect Sean.
Do you?
Yeah.
Oh,
I've been compiling a list for who knows why.
This is I'm gonna swear, guys. Sorry, shitstorm.
We gotta change that. It's La Mierda.
I think it needs a little more turdy look to it.
Turd storm.
No,
This
this
is
is
one
I love the name Shitstorm.
This is
Amazing
the
Friends, Laserman.
Yeah, the Amazing Laser Boy.
All right. Well, hey, I digress.
Wait, can you show me that cow dude again?
Mooderin?
Yeah.
Or no, the Divine Bovine?
Why do I love that so much?
Because he's awesome.
That's the best one you've done, Chris.
Yeah.
I gotta admit.
Where did those parts come from?
There was a Build-A-Figure head from
that was the Doctor Strange.
The Astral Doctor Strange, so from Marvel Legend. And this is the Spot body from Across the Spider-Verse, the villain.
You know, I know people at Schleich quite well. You know, come up with more of those. Let's propose a line to them.
Okay. Well, hey, let's do it.
that dude is awesome. I love that guy. I would shoot that guy.
Yes.
Oh, there we go. All
right. Hey, this is part of my thing. I'm thinking of proposing I just send you a package, and all I just want is a photo of it. That's all I want. I'm not asking for anything.
This is the problem. What was I talking about?
You're now doing the thing.
I'm not even giving you figures. I'm just asking you to shoot my figures.
Oh God, he only wants payment in friendship.
So a little bit of toy news. There's a new line coming out. And I don't know if you guys have seen these, but this is an alternative design for Laserman. Digsfigs gave me this. And you can see there's an accessory Divine Bovine right there.
I gotta admit,
yeah,
here's a few more Lasermen.
This actually works.
Shout out to Digsfigs. He sent me these. He's like, hey, these are just for you.
So cool.
I like how there's a larval legend.
Larval.
Oh my God.
Oh man, larval. Oh, that's so funny. Right, well, I had to fit that into toy.
Amazing.
I like how you have all these slides, and earlier Chris was like, "Yeah, I didn't know how to segue into it."
So I knew that this was gonna happen. So I was like, I gotta explain Laserman before this happens. So
he's in scale to that cow.
The what?
He's in scale to that cow.
I guess so. This is all AI.
But is he meant to be that huge?
Laserman? Oh no. Oh yeah, I guess. I think
Or is
I
that
don't
a miniature cow that is his
Yeah.
pet friend?
Yeah, maybe it's a soft cow, like a stuffed animal cow.
That comes to life? I'm reading this comic.
No, he just holds it.
Oh.
But as you can see, the second one has a Build-A-Figure piece.
Mhm.
Is that Beefcake Laser Man? What's happening there?
I don't know. Diggs just.
Big.
I think this is his own design, so pretty awesome. All right, let's go to our secret.
Wasn't there a dude named Gazer or something in The Incredibles?
Laser
Gazer?
beam.
Gazer Beam, yes.
Oh my gosh. That's some copyright infringement right there.
Oh, that's good. That's pretty cool right there.
So we're going to our secret hashtag #TPC _Royal Rumble for this
Royal
week.
Rumble.
Right.
That's
Or
pretty
this
cool.
month.
For this month, we switched over to monthly hashtags. People can keep using it. TPC _Royal Rumble. We're gonna do a watch along on January 27th to watch the WWE's Royal Rumble this year.
Mitch, are you a wrestling fan at all?
No.
Just
it's
Lost
okay.
Fight Studios, Lucha Libres.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, who did I? Oh man, I read an interview somewhere of some dude who professional who was that? It was somebody well known who said that professional wrestling was his favorite thing ever because of this I know who it was. Okay. Do you guys know who Rick Rubin is?
Yeah, the music producer.
Yes,
Right?
he
Yeah.
started Def Jam Records, and
Okay.
I've been on a Rick Rubin kick lately with like YouTube videos and podcasts, and the dude is incredibly inspiring.
Yeah.
But he is a huge fan of professional wrestling, and he feels that it's more real than almost any other property out there because well, you'd have to watch him to describe it, but it's because it's like, even though it's like probably not real, but it really depicts humanity the way it is, the way it actually is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just like the stories aren't real, but the physicality is real.
Right.
Like that
Predetermined outcomes, but everything else that
Yes.
goes into it.
Do you remember that clip of Andy Kaufman, the comedian,
Yeah.
like going up to one of the wrestlers, I forget who it is, and say this
Was it Andre the Giant?
No, it was
No.
Jerry the King.
Yeah.
Oh, Jerry
And
the
then he
King
gets
Lawler.
body slammed.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And then he was in a neck brace.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. I would
Um,
not go up to one of those guys and say, "You are fake." I
Oh,
would
no,
not do
no.
that.
Toe Chewing, what did you pick this one?
Yeah, I chose this Winfirth 17 with this Pokemon character. I'm not a Pokemon person, so I don't know the actual
That's
character's
an Eevee.
name. Eevee, cool. But I thought it was a beautiful shot.
It is. It really is. I'm not a Pokemon person either, but you don't have to be to appreciate this image.
Exactly.
I mean, the composition, of course, is amazing, but the sunset or sunrise
Oh,
behind,
it's gorgeous.
yeah.
Did you know that there are 3 pathways that this Pokemon can evolve into?
I
Right,
just said
Yimbo?
I don't know anything about Pokemon.
Yimbo, what are those 3? It's
No, it's so there's lightning and fire and water.
yeah, but do you know
Like
the
at
names?
cold. I'm blanking now.
Okay, it's all right.
I know.
I threw
We're
a
hitting
lot
the
of
witching hour,
people-
Christopher.
I know.
This is where brain cells start shutting down on me.
I'm feeling all right, but
Did any of you do that Pokemon? What is it? Pokemon Go, where you go around the neighborhoods and
I did.
Yeah?
I play Pokemon.
Yeah.
You don't do it anymore?
Go wherever we go.
No, because I need to be responsible, and like that took over my life for a segment of like 3 months.
yeah. I get
Like,
it.
oh my God, there's a Charizard over here. Hold on, hun, can you wait?
I showed.
As he jumps out of the car, runs across the
Yeah.
street into like
There's
the woods.
I just drove by a Charizard. I have to go back.
Oh boy! So apparently, hidden mist images says there's now like 7 EV transformations. Oops.
Oh,
And
really?
Pablo goes, There's more than 3 according to my daughter. Yeah. All right. So you guys are right. I'm still on OG. I'm on OG Pokemon.
I'm
I
gonna
like the
look that up.
notion, and probably you don't have to confirm this, but is your daughter watching the show? Is she chiming in?
Yeah.
By the way, Pablo was on Behind the Plastic this week. Just want to let everybody
That's
know.
right.
Check it out. Ton of Toys. This is the one I picked for today. I love this old school Superman coming out of a photo booth and just flying away. Love the posing and just, every time there's like a Superman like flying pic, it's like him in the sky. I just felt like this, like him hovering like this is something that I hadn't seen before.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Nice image. I like that. Nice set.
Yimbo.
Oh yeah, and this was mine. And so this is Carlos Nerd Reviews. I just thought it was, again, really cool shot. It's Spidey, so it's always going to catch my eye. And we were just talking about needing a new lizard on, with all these Marvel Legend, Spidey villains. And yeah, it just tickled me. So I that was my pick.
Very cool.
Good luck, Carlos.
Very cool.
No chewing.
Yeah, as said, we're continuing on throughout the rest of the month. TPC_Royal Rumble. If you feel inspired to take a wrestling shot, awesome. We'll keep an eye out for that. Otherwise, these are just letters. Tag your photos.
Well, let's get in some features from Mitchel Wu. Let's check him out. He picked 3 of them for us. Let's
Still
go
thinking of a
first
new
one.
name for myself, but
Yeah. By the end of the show, let's have it.
yeah, this one is from Jax, and this is a memorable day. We both started shooting at a place called Vasquez Rocks, and the park is amazing because it looks kind of like Tatooine in Star Wars.
Oh wow.
The rock formations are amazing. There's some pretty well-known early Star Trek episodes that were filmed there. A lot of old westerns, and I think the band One Direction did a music video there. So many things were filmed here. In fact, some days I cut my teeth on toy photography at this park. This is not a good image representative of that park because it's all rocks and everything. But a lot of times I would go there and sections would be closed off because of film productions that were there.
Oh, wow.
So Jax and I went, I forget what year this was, 22 or 21. We hadn't been there in years. And we said, hey, let's go to Vasquez Rocks and just, shoot for a while. And so that Mars Attacks alien is mine. And the little Grogu is his.
Oh.
And I was off shooting, I forget what. And then he said, hey man, can I borrow your Mars Attacks, your Martian? I said, sure. And so he found these shrubs, and underneath the shrubs there was like an opening in the shade, just like you see here. And he set it up, and he says, "Oh man, I don't have any atmosphere aerosol." So he just basically threw some. The dirt is really cool in Southern California because I call it magic dirt because it's like super dry, and when you blow it or toss it, it has a smoky quality to it. And so he just did that, and the little rays of sunshine that were coming through the shrubs, I mean, that's what he caught right there. So
Wow.
That's cool.
So as you know, this is not his current style. He shoots in his his studio probably 100% of the time now. And he was, for the most part at this point too. It's just we decided to go back to where we started, which is Vasquez Rocks. So this was like a really cool, more memorable day for me. I mean, I shot my own things, which I didn't like at all. I never posted a single image from that day. But this is the one that he posted from that day. So it was cool.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really awesome. Great story.
This is my nephew, Johnny, and I don't know what to say about this image except this is so dynamic and mind-blowing. The angle is incredible. I've never taken a shot that looks like this. I don't think anybody else has. I know he's using this crazy lens for this. Like when I was at his house and was, escaping and going into the studio with him and geeking out at all his gear, he had just bought this lens that, man, I forget what it's called, but it looks like a little telescope.
Okay, so Machu Toy was talking, or
something scopic or
80s baby.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it is a wild lens, and it lets you get shots like this, which you could not get with any other lens, basically. Like I couldn't get this with any of my lenses.
Oh, is this the one that has like a crook neck to it?
Yeah,
Probably.
it looks like a
Yeah.
periscope. It
Yeah,
looks
yeah,
like a
yeah,
periscope.
yeah. But just beyond the lens, I mean, even if he's using his, like, if you go onto his page and you're familiar with his work, but if you look at his other images where he's not using this lens, it's just the lighting is
Mm.
freaking next level, you know.
That looks like a ceiling fan or something.
It
but it's
does.
not.
It does. I mean, I don't know if it is, but that's my immediate takeaway as well. It's like a ceiling fan.
Yeah.
But whether it is or not, that's the vibe I'm getting. But I mean, look at the blades. I mean, how they're almost coming out of the frame of the picture. It's like, and then they're pretty much in focus, and then you see his face kind of a distance away based on the focal length. But it's crazy. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah,
Love
this
it.
is an incredible photo.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah.
I love that figure too.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And this is my buddy Paul, Faux Toy 72. And what I love about Paul's work is that, I mean, it kind of reminds me of like the purity and joy of toy photography, basically. You know, it's like he's out there in the environment. He doesn't do anything inside, I don't think. He goes out, he finds locations, and a lot of his work, like my own, is story driven. So that's what resonates with me with Paul. Yeah.
Wow.
And he's also just a great guy.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think we finally hit the top 10. Only about what? 2 hours and 30 minutes.
This is actually on pace for us. We're good.
Number 10. Fred's Photo Shack.
No chewing. Was that your voice there?
Yeah, actually,
It was.
It was. You digitally manipulated it somehow.
I did. I went to CapCut and clicked robot.
Oh, that's so cool.
You're the first one to.
Man.
I mean, maybe you were kidding, but you're the first one to guess that.
I'm half kidding and half serious. Yeah.
Mitchell, do you want to talk about this one?
No.
Okay.
No, I'm joking.
No chewing?
I'm joking. I'm joking. Yeah, I mean, okay, let me tell you what I love about this image. I mean, there's that. Okay, so let me relate it back to something that I recently did. I recently did an image of Wild Things, and it's just the monsters or the beasts without what's the kid's name? Max. Without Max. Okay, but my earlier iterations of the image, you only saw the latest one, which I edited out some certain elements. So I shot that image with the beasts, but I also had one image with Max jumping in the air with some dirt and debris being splashed up underneath him. He's jumping. And then I did another image of that same beast in the same position with Boo from Monsters Inc., considering like she's also a beast, a monster. But I ended up going with neither of those, and I ended up going with just the beasts because I felt like, and the caption was something like, I don't remember exactly, "Here comes Max." Okay, so the image was just them seeing Max in the distance, the anticipation, the excitement of Max coming to join them, and all the fun that's about to ensue. I felt like there was a more interesting story of making the viewer connect the dots that Max was coming, as opposed to showing him in the scene or showing Boo in the scene. And I feel the same way about this image. I feel like we're not seeing like I don't know if it's a protagonist, an enemy, a villain, or they're just about to encounter an adventure. But I feel like the anticipation of what's waiting to happen is what this image is about. And I love it. There's like a tension. For me, there's like a tension because we're not seeing, or maybe the caption explains it, but I'm not seeing the caption. We're not seeing or anticipating what they're about to encounter. And for me, that tension is what kind of makes the image for me.
Well, the great news is we have some answers from Frederick.
I don't want to know them.
Sorry, Fred. Not this week.
Not this week.
The replay
Next
tomorrow. He's gonna be so
That
sad.
was an incredible,
All right, let me know what Fred thinks.
incredibly good description of what you like about this photo.
After
What?
that beautiful interpretation of what Mitchell
Yeah.
said, I was just gonna say I really like how Razor's climbing out of the wall. Looks real cool.
You know, I was in my head. I'm like, I like. Oh man, it was gonna be complimentary to the figures because they look like how they do in the movie. It looks like
They do.
the Henson Muppet fur on Razor.
Yeah,
Mhm.
this could be a scene from the movie. So, just saying. What did Fred say that Mitchell doesn't care to hear for?
So regarding this picture, I just wanted to tell a story about how these two bad boys are more or less living wrecking balls breaking through the brick wall and always on the search/hunt for the turtles. I wanted to feel like they're just entering this new room with Razor still walking in through the broken wall and rubble. That's why he's looking at his feet as to see where he sets down his feet. He doesn't trip. The dio is a combination of a lot of loose pieces to sell the illusion of depth in different rooms. I recently realized how fun all of the NECA figures are to photograph. I just lost it. Yeah. So there'll be a lot more pictures coming in the future. And then the thing that's making Frederick happy right now is that the whole community has opened up to being a lot more inclusive. And by that, I mean how everyone is sharing tips and tricks, promoting each other, and being a lot more friendly. I really like the fact that all of us toy photographers feel like one big happy family nowadays, no matter how good or fresh you are in the game. And lastly, I just want to say he's very grateful and humbled for honored for being included alongside so many great and skillful photographers and creators. So, Frederick, I hope when you watch this on the replay, you just focus on the first half of Mitchell's compliments. No, this shot is killer, man. It's amazing, and congratulations for number 10, first time.
I have a
First time
question. I have a question on NECA figures.
Hmm.
How's the articulation on them? I haven't actually got or purchased a NECA figure in years. So, like, what my experience with NECA figures is they always look amazing, but the articulation is a little limiting. Has it improved?
Yes, it has. They've also switched out. Like, again, this is just me from talking about the toys I've been buying. The plastic, it feels different. You don't have to heat them up like there was that NECA breakage fear for so long, and so many of my like movie figures and stuff like that like are still in that. But all of the latest stuff has been really nice, like right out of the box. Great articulation. Yeah, so they've come a long way. I mean, like, again, they've always had the sculpts, but everything else is now like catching up.
Okay, cool. Nice to hear. I think I'll refrain from commenting now until I hear the caption and the comments.
No, actually, that's the good part. Right, look, Mitch, we actually like I know I'm not the only one that does this. Like, I send out my questions and I like reacting live to them. So I don't even know until what I'm going to read half of the time.
Yeah, that's the best part of like just thinking about what the photo was and then actually finding out the real answer.
This is actually a super cool photo. Either way, whatever I say, I mean, the figures are cool, the details and the way he set up the lighting and the diorama is awesome.
Yeah.
Good job, Fred.
Good job, Fred. All right, let's move on to number
9.
All right. Look at that. Computer's working, audio's working. Dark Sith 25. Very cool.
Go ahead, Yubo.
Oh, I'm gonna start out. I really love the pose on this one. It's just that the little tip of the hat.
Classic indie.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Are you a big indie fan, Mitchell?
I've seen the movies. I own the box set, so
yeah,
that's how I'm going to answer.
Yeah.
You own the first 3, the 4, or the 5?
Well,
so Chewy, you're a little pixelated.
You sounded like your voiceover just now, actually.
Yeah, I didn't actually use CapCut for the robot voice. I can just do that. I was just gonna say, which box set do you have? The first 3, or did you extend it to the 4, or the most up to date 5?
I think it's 4. I think it's the 4. Yeah, it's not 5.
Mm,
And what's weird is I haven't even opened it, and I've had it for years.
yeah.
Probably because it's streaming, so I never felt the need.
Right.
I've had the Harry Potter box set on Blu-ray the same way. I think it's still in the shrink wrap.
Yeah.
And my kids just got into Harry Potter, and I don't know where that box set is, so we just watch it on Max.
Yeah. I mean, there's always Max.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unofficial sponsors for tonight's episode.
Yeah.
We got to make that official.
That would be nice.
We do have a name for you, Mr. Mitch.
Okay.
At the Wu Nose.
There we go.
Is there like a hidden subtext to that, or is that?
I don't think so.
What we see is what it is.
I think
Wu
what
Nose.
you see is the Wu
But I
Nose.
feel like it's like if you don't read it, it's like about my nose.
Wu Nose.
The Wu
Oh,
nose. But yeah,
All right.
I mean, maybe.
that works. Yeah, back to this photo. I definitely enjoy the photo. I really like how they did the natural lighting to come in, or not the natural lighting, the lighting to come in to look like it's natural lighting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that nice sunset coming in the back. And again, with the front light, because it's cast, like it would be very easy to lose him in the
Totally.
silhouette. But
Totally.
yeah, I think we have some answers from Tanner. So here we go. The story behind my photo is pretty simple. I wanted to make a photo that felt like it was the beginning of a new adventure. I got this new Indiana Jones figure, so I was aiming to make a shot like it was from the start of a movie. It was a bit tricky as I don't do overexposed lighting that often. The inspiration for the idea of a new adventure actually came from the fact that when I took the photo, I was just a few days away from the start of 2024. The diorama I made myself a few years ago. Figured it would be best as Indy explores ancient ruins, dungeons, castles, etc. The only props in this photo are whatever Indy has on him, as he hasn't started exploring yet. That's great, Tanner. Awesome, man. And
Right
what is
on.
making him happy right now is how nice everyone is. I've tried to be a part of many different communities on social media over the years. They always ended up being toxic to some degree. I've been doing toy photography since 2017, and I haven't seen any toxicity at all. Everyone is just so nice in this community. And yeah, he won't be able to catch the live stream now, but when you do, thank you, Tanner, and awesome job. And Dark Sith _25. Congrats, man.
It's too bad that you're gonna edit out like the biggest secret that I gave you for the later people. But it's better to catch it live for sure.
Very true.
Could you imagine if we spent time editing a 3 hour plus long show every week?
If we had people
Brutal.
to do this,
That'd be brutal.
yeah, we could do. Oh, the time. Anyway, congrats, Dark Sith.
Congrats, buddy.
All right, love that robot voice working. Legion 8 photography. Sometimes, Mitch, this is the other fun part of like the usernames is sometimes we miss how simple, but the arrangement of letters. This looks like photogenic. I thought it was photogenic. Yeah, it was just something silly. But
Epic disaster. Epic
so I usually, if I say it slowly for the first time, I'm like, all right, is it Legion 8? Is it going to be Legion 8? I don't know. I'm not sure.
You somehow try to make that word Legion 8.
Legion 8.
Legion 8.
Is that a thing? Legion 8? I don't know, guys.
I don't think so.
Red Dog Motion is in the chat. All right. So, Mitch, why don't you want to start things off, buddy, with giving
Yeah,
Red Dog?
I mean, I'm not sure. I mean, do you guys know who this character is? I
am assuming Star Wars. I'm not.
You know who because I asked because it reminds me of, and I know it's not from, but District 9. Do you remember?
Oh,
that?
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that's the vibe I get from this toy, which is an extremely positive vibe. So yeah, I just love that the sense of discovery that he's in the middle of. That's kind of the gist of it, I think, which is unexpected for an android or a robot. So it's kind of like Wall-E in the way that he's discovering something that catches his attention. Back to Scavenger's Reign, the animated series on Max. Max. There's a really cool like robot in that, and the robot is on its own journey, which is super cool. So this kind of like has that vibe, totally has that vibe. So yeah. From a technical standpoint, I just I love the environment. It's, unless I'm mistaken, it's shot outside, and it's shot outside with some atmosphere aerosol or something, and yeah, it's like something that I could see myself doing. So it's cool. Yeah,
That's awesome. Oh, what a compliment.
Yeah, it's cool.
What was that show? Where can you find that?
I'm sorry?
Where can you find that show again?
On Max.
Okay.
It's like MAX, Max. It's actually an HBO thing.
Right.
Oh, why do they just call it HBO?
They used to. It used to be called HBO Max.
Oh. But now it's just
Max.
just Max.
Max is like the same name of the kid in Wild Things. It's Max.
Oh, full circle.
Right.
Yeah.
There you go.
So really, when you were
we got to get paid for this.
when you captured
things.
when you captured "Here Comes Max," it was really about Max.
It really was
like HBO.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you brought up District 9. I actually just rewatched that trailer with my wife the other day. I was like, I haven't seen this movie in years. Like, please let us watch it. So I think that's coming. And also Chappie. Did you guys ever watch Chappie?
I did, yeah.
He gives me a lot of Chappie vibes. Oh, that was such a fun movie.
I have that.
Oh,
figure.
There's Wade. Yeah, Wade just said it.
I have the Chappie figure from, I don't remember who. But it's pretty cool. I did one image of it, and he had like he was like standing or sitting, and he had like little butterflies flying around him. He probably deserves a new image, but yeah.
Oh, that was such a fun movie. I mean, sad too, but
it was very sad.
So good.
Yeah,
so good.
Yeah.
We do have answers from Logan, so thank you very much for getting back to me. So here we go. I wanted to make the robot to feel as if it had human emotions. In this case, curiosity had taken over him.
Yes.
I always love when stories show machines having human emotions, but not entirely human. It's beautiful in a way.
I'm with you, dude. Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
And
by the way, he's in the chat. He's Red Dog Motion.
Check out Scavenger's Reign. I'm not going to say which network or streaming thing it's on, but it's Max. But definitely check it out.
You'll find it. You'll find it.
For the second question, Logan said it has to be the support and diversity the community has. Seeing collectors and photographers collecting different figures and having different styles is amazing. It makes me happy that I can share the same interests with people, that everyone has their own unique style. And the community is always positive. I made friends along the way, and I've gotten a lot of help from other members of the community and gotten a lot of inspiration from them. That's awesome, man. That's all.
Yeah, that's cool. That is the toy photography community. It is. I don't know about you guys. I mean, to your earlier poster's point, I really have not seen or experienced really any drama in the toy photography community.
Yeah,
Anything?
there's not like I'm never say never, but like I mean, like we also steer clear. These toy daddies, like we have responsibilities. We have stuff to take. We don't get involved in.
Right.
Like we just try to be here, spread some love and move it. So I'm not saying it never happens, but it's not usually on our radars. So
yeah, I guess that's it. It's not. I'm impervious to it. I mean,
yeah.
So.
All right.
Oh,
Legion 8, coming 8. Here we go, Chris.
Number 7.
Oh, it's another fun one. Torah Nerd.
Oh, they're in the chat too. Or they were in the chat.
They were on the chat.
If he's gone, then swipe away.
There's some harder rules when Mitch is on.
Oh, I love this.
This is necessary.
Must be present to win. That is a cool image. That is a very cool image. It's just dynamic. It's like the past few images we've seen have been panned out a bit. This is focusing on the main character. He's
Mhm.
obviously drinking Hennessy Pure White.
There you go.
Only on Max.
That's what the XXX stands for, Hennessy Pure
Right.
White. And he's having a great time. No, the color tones of this image and everything, I love it.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
I'm
Anybody
digging.
know what figure that is?
I was about to say, I'm digging the Kit Bash. That I believe is the body of Jacob Marley, the Four
I think so
Horsemen
too, yeah.
figure.
Oh,
right?
it is. Yeah.
I'm not sure then about the head or anything else, but that's definitely, it should be the body.
I think the head is a mythic skull, like one of them. I think they added some extra components.
Yeah.
That is cool.
Mitch, have you messed with Mythic Legions or Cosmics? Anything from Four
I'm familiar
Horsemen?
with them, but I haven't. No.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I
Have
feel
you?
like we should. Trevor got us into.
Yeah, I know Trevor's big into it. Yeah.
Trevor got us into it pretty hard. So we
I
have
think
our.
Trevor does Trevor do all the packaging?
Oh yeah.
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 He's the man. He hook, line, and sinker. Anytime there's a new reveal, it's like, oh, Trevor knows the first comment's going to be me going,
Yeah.
well, I just
The
ordered
head
it.
is Super 7. The head is Super 7, he says. So,
Oh, all right.
Trevor, you're next level on this stuff, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Oh, that's
we
awesome.
we went to Legion's Con just to meet up, and that Legion's Con, even though we may not be the biggest mythic or cosmic Legions collectors, it was so much fun just like hanging out and meeting people. And
Where was that?
It was in New Jersey.
Okay.
Came to my neck of the woods.
Yeah, it was awesome.
And what was the Boston Con that you met Meredith at?
It was like, oh man, that thing was small. It was like, what was that called?
It was the first ever Boston Toy Con, I believe.
Toy Con? Was it Boston Toy Con? It was tiny. It was just a lot of fun.
You
I
think
like
it'll-
honestly
think
though,
it'll continue?
I think so.
Yeah, I hope it grows.
I mean, I went with my kids and we went through it like 6 times in like 10 minutes. So
I hope Boss Fight goes to there's actually a larger con. I think it's in their second or third year that we also went to, ChrisCon. That's
Chris
somewhere
Con.
more local, closer to where Norwood is. And I think it's somewhere near there. But yeah, it's slightly bigger.
yeah,
Well, yeah. And plus they had Four Horsemen there. They had Plunderlings. They had, I mean, oh god, Spiro
The
was
Toy
there.
Daddies had a table.
Malaverse.
Cool.
yeah.
Boss fights. Bring them over.
So that one's in Norwood as well?
Not Norwood. I forget what
It's
town.
either Milford or Milton.
Is that in the area?
Yeah,
Boston area?
it's like
it's around
30
there.
minutes.
Mhm.
I know it's 35 minutes away from my house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We do have answers from G. Shaw. So when I first saw the pictures for James Marley Figura Obscura, I knew I wanted to make a ghost pirate. Most people think of Pirates of the Caribbean as an influence, but for me, it's Treasure Island and the old horror comics from the 60s and 70s.
Oh, okay.
Super 7's Captain Deadstar was an easy choice for the head, and just a bit of ethereal weathering made it perfect for him. The figure needed a credible setting, so I made the conning platform, pilot wheel, and broken railing out of foam, hobby sticks, and craft paint. See, this is why we ask these questions, Mitch, because the stuff that people can put into that's
Oh, this is amazing.
the
Love it.
background is a cheesecloth and burlap with cotton string, and the crates and barrels are other items I made or modded.
Wow.
Hell yeah. And then what's bringing them joy is the variety of photographers we have in the community is amazing. The themes, styles, and aesthetics have diversified so much. Every day there is something completely fresh to see. Supporting this channel such as yours, thank you, and others help bring us together so we can learn from each other. That is the heart of this in any hobby, supportive growth that is done in a positive way.
So this
Great sentiment.
he says crates and barrels. Is this cropped? I'm not seeing it.
Oh, it might be.
Might be.
Wow. I would love to see it behind the scenes. Yeah.
That's cool.
We need
Yeah, a lot went into this. Very
Yeah.
cool.
Torah nerd. Well done.
Torah Nerd, congratulations on number 7. Let's move on to number.
Number 6.
Danger Room Toy Photography. Not a stranger to the top 10.
Well, every shot is usually action packed, such as
That's
this.
what I was gonna say. So action packed.
Yeah. I love a good spear. I love a good spear. Right? Again, Mitch, I used to be more into it. Less, now I just enjoy like stuff like the Rumble.
Well, I don't know.
Pictures of
I don't
Spears.
know names, but I'm sure I've seen the dude with the mohawk. What's his name?
Oh, that is. Oh, why am I blanking? GI Joe Gung Ho. That looks. If I had to
Yes,
guess, that's Gung
but
Ho.
people think he looks like the MMA fighter from like the 2000s.
Oh yeah.
Because I'm thinking he looks like a real dude that I've seen.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
what's
this is a
Tank?
GI
No,
Joe
not
guy.
Tank. Is it Tank? Yeah, it should be a GI Joe.
Okay.
Yeah, and those are like the two Arctic bats. So like the winter themed robot bad guys that Cobra has.
Chuck
Chuck Liddell. Thank you, Wade.
There
Chuck
it is.
Liddell.
That's it.
Chuck
That's
Liddell.
absolutely
it.
Chuck Liddell, and he
Yeah.
has like elbow pads, like he's
Yeah.
a wrestler.
That's exactly it.
Great action. I think we featured Danger Room toy photography in the past. I think they've only been up, taking photos for a short time, maybe a year or so. So
Yeah. Again, really fun account. So guy's name is Mike. So Mike, again, keep up the great work, buddy. For this dio, it was an extreme set. It was the Asylum. As for the figures,
Perfect.
I'm on a major GI Joe classified kick at the moment. So yep, that's what we were seeing. And what's making Mike happy is the community itself and all the collaborations. I'm really making it a goal this year to collaborate with as many individuals as possible. All right. Well, Mike,
Yeah, man. Common
sign
thread,
us up.
man.
Toy daddies are
Community.
always down for a collab.
Definitely a common thread with the community.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Congrats. Unfortunately, Chris walked away for a moment. He's in control of the slide deck.
Do you want me to put mine up? I'll just jump to that slide. I got it.
Okay, cool. Yeah, it was either that or I was just gonna go to the Instagram page.
Oh, we're. Oops, hold on. So now I just got to share my screen. Hold on a second.
Oh no, he's back. He's back.
Oh,
Oh, what?
the Toad's father.
Did we not get
No,
answers?
we read the answers. We're ready to move on to number 5.
All right.
Number 5.
Sorry, I thought I had some time.
Whoa, we have another buddy in the chat, and I have to ask him because
Pablo.
he got a chance to mess around with this factory prototype from Savage Crucible. But this is our buddy Pablo, PL Toy Box. We love Pablo, and man, dude, like what a stunning shot of getting to really see these Savage Crucible figures in action. Like we've seen a lot of other type of prototype stuff and digital renders.
Yeah.
So it's looking sharp.
It really does. It looks like that they nailed that armor.
Yeah.
Oh, and he's saying it is a fun figure. That's another big thing with the articulation. It looks like it's going to be on par. Like I keep saying it, but like Spiro, going back to them, like they're still one of the most dynamically articulated figures outside of like a
sturdy,
Reval
too.
type. And sturdy, right?
Sturdy. He like with Spiro, I'm not afraid I'm gonna over articulate it and it's gonna break somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah, to me, what I see here is like beyond it being super cool image is that it is not easy to lay characters down on the ground and create a really cool composition with it. The sword is like kind of key, but the horse laying down and both characters down on the ground, it's not as easy as he makes it look, to pull that off. To pull that off for sure.
I even really like too that because the Savage Crucible figure itself, the lizard man, like is darker, that he put him in contrast with that like sunset sky.
Yeah, that
and
works.
left, like that the cave or rock formation to the left of it, Oh, again, nice choice there.
Yeah, fantastic photographer. Mitch, I don't know if you know Pablo, but he shoots photos for Plunderlings.
Nice. No, it's fantastic.
Which would be a fun. I feel like that would be a line that you would get into, Mitch. Plunderling.
You
yeah.
like
Just in
Plunderlings.
terms of like the whimsy, they're just a
Yep.
lot of fun, so cute, like do so much with stuff. And did I? Oh, I'm not.
Nope,
I
that'd be
didn't send
me.
Pablo.
That'd be me.
Yeah, that
I
would
have
be
the
right.
answers.
All right.
So Pablo writes, Savage Crucible sent me a test shot paint master to photograph of the Lemurian Royal Guards. And as soon as I got this figure, I already knew I wanted Mezco Conan to go up against him. I am so inspired by Frazetta's work in the Conan universe in a lot of my myth and fantasy photos. The pose was inspired by one of Frazetta's Burrow Western covers, Return of the Mucker. Everything in the dial was made by me, except, of course, the plastic foliage and sand. What makes me happy in this community of toy photographer enthusiasts and helping out the community when I can. Very cool.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
I mean, Frazetta, when I was in art school, was like one of my heroes, as far as illustrators go. So, yeah.
It's been very, very cool seeing, and I guess in hearing after the fact, but like it was so neat seeing all these different Conan like figures and lines popping up and Dark Wolf and all that stuff. And, then you find out, oh, it's because like, I guess the rights are kind of split around the family, but whatever. It's just nice that we are getting,
right. Like, I'd love to read more about that, how the rights to the Frazetta like paintings and all the artwork and designs are just spread amongst like various branches of the family. It's incredible.
Wow.
But again, all it means for us as the fans and consumers, like we get more Conan stuff, and they're all really cool. The Dark Wolf figures are awesome.
All right, well, let's move on to number
4.
Oh boy,
Eddie and his toys.
Mitch, we can let you start things off with this one.
I mean, I think you're a big fan of the Marvel figure, aren't you?
Hold on, Yimbo.
Tell me who this guy is.
Yimbo, be the producer.
Let me Google real quick. Google
it for me.
Silver Samurai, great.
Yeah, I mean, just from an image standpoint, I love the lighting, obviously, because the way he's lit from on top and behind, and then we're still catching some light on the statue ahead of him. I don't really know much about this character, I'm ashamed to say, but
I actually don't know much about Silver Samurai. I just know the name.
He fights Wolverine, and he has a sword that times
Of adamantium?
fire.
Oh,
That's a full sword. I don't know.
My knowledge of his backstory came from the movie, where was it just called The Wolverine? That was just The Wolverine, right?
The Wolverine,
The third one with Hugh Jackman.
A mythology. That might not be the origin story.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think it's going to be comic accurate. So I'm just going to say I don't really know much other than Silver Samurai is a Wolverine bad guy.
I forget everything I knew about it from the comics, and I'm only pulling it from the animated series. So it's pretty shallow what I have in my mind too.
Yep.
I mean, the sense of place that he's given this character is pretty cool now. I mean, the depth, and again, both of he's like framed by the statues on each side. That's pretty cool.
And a single moonlight beam coming from the ceiling. I'm not quite sure what would cause that, but I like the effect.
Yeah.
Yeah. And even something simple like walking. I've done that too, but I like to try to nail a good walking pose, but even in a walking pose, you can tell a story or imagine, like you were saying, Mitch, like giving the audience something to generate their own backstory. Give them like, where's he heading? Where is he going? Blah, blah, blah. I love those shots. Yeah.
I didn't realize he was the brother of Wolverine's fiance.
Nice. Thanks, Trev. that is very helpful.
Yeah.
That's also the most useful thing about the chat. They will inform us of where we know nothing.
Right.
I mean, even with the story right here of Silver Samurai walking out, he's walking out of what, I'm interpreting because of the Buddha, two statues of Buddha in the front, that it's a peaceful place rather than a whatever headquartered or evil lair he's normally found in.
Sort of a temple, maybe.
Yeah. Even that moment of tranquility before heading into battle, or like that's
Right.
Do we have any answers from Eddie? Eddie again, fantastic account.
Actually, I'm going to share a quick story about Eddie indirectly. At Legion's Con, at the Spiral table, I met Nolan collects, and I was talking with his, I guess maybe friend or significant other, and I remember handing the Spiro team some stickers. I think he handed Nolan some stickers too. And she actually, I believe she knew who Eddie and his toys was, and that he follows the show. And I was like, oh, and it's kind of had this circle loop connection. I was like, oh, that's awesome. Or maybe it was the Spiro team that knew Eddie. I don't know, either one. All right, I do have some answers. It says, hi guys, really appreciate the chance to be featured on the Toy Pick community. The story behind the picture was Silver Samurai making his way to battle. The diorama was an extreme set. I add my own elements to it, like the statues. The toy community has always been a great place to express myself. The hobby continues to give me great joy, from making dioramas with my kids to taking photos. Pages like Toy Pick community have always added to my love for this amazing hobby. Thanks for everything you guys do. Looking forward to the next time.
Thanks, Eddie.
Cool.
Thank you, Eddie.
Thanks, Eddie. Congratulations on number 4. Let's move on to number
Number 3.
Alan. Choose 666.
Another awesome account to follow. Alan's awesome.
Absolutely.
Well, you know me, I'm going to point out the triangle composition. I'm super into it. That rule of odds coming in handy.
Okay, I'm just trying to understand all the. So that's like these are all McFarlane's. One is the like purple and black
Oh,
Batman
yeah,
Beyond
That was
Uh-huh.
the Ink Batman.
and Batman.
Right.
One's
Is
Who's
that
the-
Batwing?
yeah, Batwing. That's it, and then Batman Beyond.
And then Batman Beyond. So Batman Beyond, Batman Inc. And then Batwing.
Yeah,
Nice.
cool. I really love the background. Just right in the, I want to say the eye of the storm, wherever they're fighting. Looks awesome.
You know, I always say it, but it's like anytime I go onto Instagram or now this chat, it's like I'm consistently blown away by the quality of work that's being put out there by everybody. It's like jaw-dropping, you know? It's like
Yeah.
I feel like, you know, I have my own style. And it is what it is. But when I come onto Instagram or social media or this, it's like seeing other people's work. It's like pretty inspiring. It's like, I'm not sure how long each person that we're seeing here has been like practicing toy photography, but you know, I'm sure it's not as long as I have been. And the work I'm seeing is just incredible. It's incredible, you know. From you guys yourselves, I see your work. It's the same way. From like, it just blows my mind, and it's really inspiring to see where the art form is going. And I know we inspire each other, and I think that's one of the key things. Like several people have said, it's like people are very open to posting like their methods and their behind the scenes, and it's a very sharing and giving community. And I think that really contributes to like everything that we're seeing right now. You know, we don't work in a vacuum. We see everything that everybody else is doing. And it's blows my mind. You know, it literally makes my jaw drop when I see some of the work that's out there. It's incredible. It's incredible.
Yeah. Well, it was a point we made earlier on. And it just reminded me that I was gonna say it. Like, that's what we notice every week, is that like as much as we learn about different methods from each other, from, you know, like from our friends that we've made, there's still pictures that I'm just like, how the heck did they pull that off?
Right.
And like, even with everything that I know and I've learned, my mind still gets blown.
Yeah,
So
exactly. Which is super cool, right?
Yeah,
Super
it's
cool.
amazing.
Yeah.
I take the joy out of life, right? To just know everything.
Yeah, to be surprised on a daily basis almost when you go onto Instagram is like, wow, it's incredible. It's incredible.
Do we have any answers from Alan?
Yes, we do.
All right.
Alan says, "Hey, thank you so much. So this is a photo I took a few months ago, and the reason I submitted it is because I still think it looks great so far and holds up pretty well. Also, it's always impressed me, like, hey, I did that. I've always, which is great. I've
Yeah.
always wanted to shoot a scene of several people fighting in a tornado or hurricane. I don't know why I kept having this idea in my head, and then this picture came out. The figures in the photo are all made by McFarlane, Batman Beyond, Inc. as Batman Beyond, and Batwing. I remember this is the first time I shot figures the first time shooting figures hanging on wire.
Ooh.
And for what's making them happy, I found a group of like-minded friends. We have a group chat on Instagram called TSS, the Toy Syndicate. It's like a secret base for me. We never see each other in real life. Hope to meet everyone in person one day, but I swear the first thing I do when I get up in the morning is check what people are posting in that group. What toys are coming out and who has posted a photo that needs some support. I don't know how long this passion will last because we all need to deal with so many other things in our own real world, family, work, money, mortgage, but it's one of my fondest memories.
Yeah, the passion should go on forever, really.
Ever,
Yes.
yeah.
Because of all that other stuff where you actually need something like this.
So true.
Yeah.
Sharpen that axe.
Sharpen it. Congratulations, Alan Chu. Let's move on to number. Ooh.
Hey, we know this name. Darth Indominus 66.
That's right.
It's more troopers, Mitch.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I'm looking at it because it really reminds me of like the early days of my toy photography. And I don't mean that as like a negative. It's like I remember the magic of going to Vasquez Rocks and just bringing my stormtroopers and Darth Vader and shooting them. And I remember this one instance where I was at a swim meet. My daughter was swimming, and I was just hanging out on the grass under a tree. And I looked at my Instagram, and I was getting like, this was probably like 2016, like within months of my starting, and I was getting like 1 billion follows. At least to me at the time, it seemed like 1 billion follows. Like I was going, what is going on? And if you get a bunch of follows, eventually you don't know where it came from because it disappears off the feed. And I'm going. At first, I thought like I was hacked or something and something weird was going on because I'd never experienced it. And then thankfully somebody said, oh, you were, hey, I found you because you were featured on Loot Crate. Anybody know Loot Crate?
Oh, I remember Loot Crate.
I don't even know.
Yeah.
They're probably not around anymore, but they featured an image of what I shot at Vasquez Rocks of stormtroopers. And then one of them was falling off a cliff basically. And and this was when toy photography was really new. If it happened now, nobody would even, give it a second notice. But because it was kind of fresh and different, it boosted my account by probably like 2,000 or 3,000, which was huge at the time because I probably had less than 1,000 at the time. So, and the purity of this image reminds me of kind of that experience that I had.
Oh,
yeah,
I love that.
Oh, that's cool.
Every time when I looked at this photo prior, I was thinking about what you say in terms of telling a story, and I feel like this photo really captures that.
It does. I mean, I feel sorry for that one, that one trooper.
Yeah,
because clearly he's doomed because that other dude's not going to pull him out from those multiple tongues or whatever.
Yeah. But I love the hand holding. No, I'm not gonna let go.
yeah.
Like a bunch of rookie stormtroopers.
Honestly, the dude that's trying to help him is probably gonna get caught up in those tongues as well. So
I know. And what is it? Is this the creature? Is it what? Oh, I can't wait to find out what toy that is. But
I don't recognize them.
What's the? Is it Sarah? I'm such a bad Star Wars fan. A Sarlacc pit? What's that? Thing that got Boba Fett?
It's not like monster. No.
Okay. Is this a Tremor? Did they make a Trevor toy? Tremors? Remember Tremors?
I don't know if they did, but
the head looks like a Tremor, but I don't recognize the tongues out of the Tremor like that.
Yeah, that might just been added.
I love Tremors.
I wonder if there were answers that could tell us that or no?
We do have answers for the first one. A little background behind the Graboid figure. I assume that's the
Yeah,
the
he's in the chat.
creature.
Yep.
Yeah.
Graboid from Tremors. Nice.
Oh,
Oh,
perfect.
okay.
When he said, I read the answers ahead of time. I thought in my mind when I saw this picture, it looks like the one of the bugs from Starship Troopers,
That's what I thought.
Mm.
like Graboid. Good.
Wow.
So a
You can
little
find that on
background behind.
Max.
Can you? Oh,
Yeah,
I wanna watch that now.
Starship Troopers on Max.
A little background behind the Graboid figure. There was a person who went by the yeah, I guess that's fine. There was a person who went by the name of Arctic Figures here on Instagram. He made 3D printed articulated figures ranging from dinosaurs to Godzilla. He had a huge following of lots of people getting their figures. He had an Indiegogo campaign for some figures, and lots of people backed it. He eventually got around to making a Graboids, so I bought one. However, it was at this point he decided to run away with lots of people's money, close to 100K.
Ooh.
Turns out he was a big scammer across multiple media platforms, and no
Ooh.
one knew about it till this incident. I never got the figure from him. However, I did get in contact with someone who had the files for the Graboids. Arctic sold his files on his website before he took it down. I told him about the scam, and he was willing to make me the 1/12 Graboids. The tentacles and tongues were sculpted out of a modeling clay for me, by him.
There it goes.
Wow.
Wow.
Modeling
and-
play.
And that stinks. Mitch, the way you said, like, it's rare that we see stuff like that. You know, like rare that we see like issues within the toy community. But yeah, sometimes this does show
It's
up.
okay, karma will get that guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, if it hasn't already.
Yeah.
yeah, that's right.
But I want to say about this image again. I mean, I love the posing of these figures. It's like it totally sells the story. I mean, he did a really good job.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes, agreed.
The ominous skies in the back. I'm assuming that's a real sky. It's perfect.
Yeah. Oh, so good.
Oh,
it's-
and full disclosure, I've been thinking about a Tremors image myself, but it will not include like a realistic looking, I don't know, ground slug or whatever those guys. That movie was so cool.
It was
That
so
movie
good,
was
right?
So
was.
cool. I mean, way better than the sequel. But
Yeah.
I mean, the scene where it's like, we must be quiet, and then all of a sudden, doing, 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 the pogo stick girl.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh,
I
and
love
running
that
to the
movie.
house. Oh man.
I love that
oh.
movie. So well done.
Yeah.
Yeah, so well done. But yeah, I mean, if I can find, I was already searching on eBay for the toy, and my kid used to have the one I want to use as the monster, but I don't know where it went.
I have faith that you'll find something to be this monster.
Yeah.
You'll find something, Mitch.
Yeah, it's like I really want to make this happen. This is like one from the heart, so I got
yeah.
Oh, man.
So we did answer that second question. Or actually, he continues on. As for the scenery, I live in a desert, and since Tremors takes place in a desert, it was perfect. I also love Star Wars, and decides that having stormtroopers going against a Graboid would make for an awesome picture. The thing that makes me happy in the toy community is how non-toxic it is. It's like how non-toxic it is. I love that everyone is super supportive of photos, even giving pointers as to what to do to make the photos better. I also love seeing everyone's style in photography. Each photo I see has a different feel from the rest, and I love it. Makes everyone have something very unique. Very cool.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yep.
And Ray Paz, to answer your question, like all things in life, yes, it is 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. So yeah, that was a Kevin Bacon movie.
Who doesn't love bacon? You know.
Yeah.
All right. Congratulations. Let's go on to finally
Number 1.
Yeah.
Grown Men
Nice.
Toys. I love this figure. I love Scarlet Spider. I love everything Scarlet Spider. Love this figure.
I've also fallen in love with this figure ever since I opened it up, thinking it was gonna just be what black suit in comic book Spidey, but I'm telling like he's differently shaped. He's beefier, but he moves better. I don't know. I really like this guy. I really like him. I'm with you, Chris.
Articulation looks really good.
It is. Yeah.
Spider-Man in general, I think, from the figures that I have at least, better than average articulation.
Which ones do you have?
I have a couple Marvel ones, but
Okay.
I think one of them's really old, but they're fantastic.
Ooh,
that's awesome.
going back to
Yeah.
Boy Biz.
Maybe. Like I used one on, like I did a cover of, it was either the Pop Insider or the toy book, and he's on his thread, and the thread is attached to like either the toy book title or the Pop Insider. I think it was Pop Insider title, and it was hanging and it was dragging one of the letters down, but the pose was like I wouldn't be able to accomplish it with like an average figure for sure. Like the articulation was really good. Really good.
That's awesome. I think that's a Grime City electrical panel thing.
box.
I think so. Yeah, might be a Grime City wall too, because I'm looking.
Could be. It's a cool lamp on the top left.
Yeah, I mean, for this one, it's really funny because I was just this weekend screwing around with the figure and it set up like a similar like it. He's just a cool character, but also figure that he doesn't need to be doing much outside of like a classic Spidey pose. It's just he has so much of his own backstory that he brings to his pictures, and the pain, right, and the sadness. So I was working on something, but yeah, like now I'm gonna scrap it because this picture is awesome, and I'll go back to the drawing board, and that's okay because that's something too. Sometimes these pictures like that we go over, it's like, oh, they did that. Okay, I can do a different thing now.
Yeah,
Scratch my brain itch.
Exactly. We do have some answers.
All right.
For the first one, what inspired the shot was I just wanted to put Scarlet Spider in a cool pose. I figured he would look cool posed up on this electrical panel prop. I used a diorama I purchased not too long ago, which I love shooting on. I like the light that lights up in the back wall as well. Just gives you a realistic look. And for number 2, what's making him happy? Man, collecting is just so much fun to me. I've loved it since I was a kid. I just love how action figures have evolved so much since I was a kid. I really enjoy all the different toy lines and how real they have become. I love it.
Yeah.
I mean, when he talks about like action figures evolving, it's true because one of my favorite toys when I was a kid was called Major Mattson, and I forget if it was Mattel or it may have been. I think it was Mattel, and he had wires inside of him that allowed you to like bend him into different positions. But as a kid, you play with these things so much that eventually the wires would break and they'd stick through the rubber material, and it would always draw blood.
Yeah.
I actually still have Major Mattson and like 2 different Major Mattsons of different color, different races, and yeah, they still draw blood. They still do.
I had a Hulk Hogan,
but now
and
it bleeds longer.
I had growing up the Hulk Hogan and Iron Sheik like bendy wire wrestling guy.
Very similar. I mean, it's like Gumby basically, because I think Gumby had wire. So
yeah.
I remember I had a Captain America figure, but I don't think it even had a wire. It was just like gummy plastic. You could bend it, but it went right back. You know, like so in terms of evolution, yeah, absolutely. Because
totally.
Now Captain America can be like this guy.
Yeah,
Cool.
Yeah.
And we have like let's see, Nilla was saying just talking about the Marvel Legends, like this is the Mafex one, that updated one coming out for Marvel Legends looks awesome. And then Ray Pass said Chewy that it's day and night from when I was a kid. He's with you. It's true. It's crazy.
Yeah, it is.
I mean,
it is.
One of my favorite toys growing up. I just leave it out here, but it was this little guy, little Wolverine,
cool.
With the poppable claws.
Cool.
Oh, that was so much fun. And seriously,
With
my
the ring.
my hand muscles go back to this instantly.
Muscle memory.
Like that was I love this movie.
I love the sound effects, Yimbo.
I mean, does everybody here still have toys from their kids?
Oh
I
yeah.
have a few.
I have a
Yeah, I just
few.
have a few.
Not
Yeah.
as many as I would want, but
My
too.
mom did
Yeah.
save a lot of toys for me, but it was in a
Lucky.
airtight sealed bin, so it's just caked, and it's still caked. I have it in my garage. It's caked in like dust,
Ooh,
and
that's Spider-Man.
it's gonna
Hey,
take
at least you
forever
have
to
them,
clean.
man. You can clean them
Yeah.
up. Yeah.
Look
Some
at
atmosphere
Mitch.
aerosol.
If you're missing, this is my like actual. So all that missing paint was a lot of love,
Yeah.
a lot of
That's
playtime.
cool.
Well played with. Yeah, for sure.
All that
And
lead
then-
paint just rubs right off.
And then hey,
Well,
can't
Captain Planet.
forget Captain Planet.
Oh,
So cool.
that's the line Super 7 really needs to focus on. Captain
Right?
Planet.
Give us Captain Planet
that.
figures.
I would love it. And then this was the one that had this aspect.
Wow.
He's flying.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow, that's
Look at the
cool.
wonder.
He's ready
How
for toy photography.
Right?
Yeah.
He's with his own wire.
Why haven't I shot this guy yet?
I totally should. Look at this guy.
You have to. You have to.
That was
Handsome.
great.
Handsome.
You gotta do it for Earth Day.
Yeah. Neat.
Messy Photography has our first question. He always asks questions. First question: if you guys were still doing TPC lives 5 years from now, what do you think could be different then compared to now? Besides the $1 million box office movie, Laser Man.
Oh, it's hard to say, man. I mean, like in terms of bigger goals, it'd be awesome to like, man, if like we could do this full time. I always joke if like the toy daddies could do this full time. Oh my god, we have so many ideas. So it would really like that would be cool. You get to pursue. We'd have all of that time.
Well, 5 years from now, you'd have like 5 breaks for like commercial, like, and now
Yeah, that's
I'd like
true.
to tell you about, Rogaine.
Max. No,
In
it's
5
a
years,
callback
we'd
all the time.
hopefully Max is our sponsor.
How about this, Messy? In 5 years, you're gonna be like, "This is my." I knew those guys when they were cool.
Yeah.
Yimbo clearly sold out.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you said that about the cool, I have a neighbor down the street. I don't think he'll be watching this. He was the like producer for Guns N' Roses, for Rat, for
Whoa.
different bands, and now he works as he's got a really good job doing sound editing and design for different networks and stuff. Cooking shows primarily, and he has a team of people under him, and one of the guys said, dude, because he knew his past, dude, when did you shit the cool out of yourself? Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh, that's harsh. That's a harsh thing to hear.
But he tells it like very affectionately.
No, of course, of course.
But
That's
yeah,
okay.
I mean the guy has some amazing stories because his dad was the president of Warner Brothers Music when he was growing up, and he just kind of fell into the business, and he's been on tour with bands, and he's got some good stories.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I bet. He's like, I bet his response was, Axel crushed me.
Oh, I think he helped write Welcome to the Jungle. So he is
No way, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
yeah. Pretty
That's
cool.
awesome.
Pretty cool
That's
stuff.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
Mitch, I wanted to show this off. Our buddy Nose Ring just came in the
Yeah.
chat. I don't know
Hey,
if
Richie.
you saw from Richie his collab shirt.
I got mine yesterday too.
Oh, that's so cool.
With,
yeah.
Turtle
mine's
Ginsu.
in the mail, I
Yeah.
guess, but yeah.
Oh, it's.
Did you go moss green?
I
Or did you
went
go
moss
black?
green, baby.
Very
I
cool.
ended up switching to moss green.
Yeah, I got moss green. Oh man, we're matching.
Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah, Richie's work is amazing. I mean, he
It
doesn't he posts as much as I do, so not very often, but I mean he's got his own thing going on. But he came into town, I forget for what, it was for a con, and Jax and I went and had lunch with him, and then he came back with Jax and he dropped me off, and so Richie got to see Studio P and got to see a few other things. So it was a cool dude.
Awesome.
He's a
Yeah.
cool dude.
Yeah, we met him at Legion's Con actually.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, he's a really, really cool dude.
Yeah, he's super cool. Yeah.
And again, another aspect to like, I love that that whole concept was, interpreting a toy photo. Like the toy photo came
Right.
first, and then the illustration.
Right.
And I know too. I saw pulling from other toy pictures for comic panels. Like so
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Cool account.
Yeah, he's very talented.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Messi goes, Mitch, do you live on Hollywood Boulevard? How do you know all these people?
Hollywood Boulevard is so sleazy. I've been to Hollywood Boulevard. It's cool because it's interesting because I live probably like a half hour from Hollywood. So whenever I go to Hollywood for whatever reason, it's like entering a different dimension. It is.
Mhm.
I don't know if you've been to Hollywood, but it is trippy. It is trippy.
Yeah, a long time ago.
It is extremely bizarre. Yeah. But I love it. It's a totally different vibe, and as long as you go in the daytime, it's cool, But
Mhm.
yeah, it's a fun place. It's fun.
So, Mitch, here, this is my final parting question for this evening. Because thank you again for just
Yeah,
hanging
thank
out
you
with
for
us as
having
long
me.
as you have tonight, man.
Yeah,
Thank you so
thank
much.
you.
Will you make a trip to San Diego for Comic-Con when the Toy Daddies arrive? Because we're
Yeah.
going on Thursday, so we're going to be on your coast. It would be very cool to meet up for lunch.
The question is, will the Toy Daddies come up to Santa Clarita to meet with me and go to Vasquez Rocks and shoot?
Yes.
Oh my God.
That
yes.
I think that we just
How
picked one of our deals
I-
because we only
how-
have tickets for one day. We're just
Yeah,
going
how
Thursday.
far is
Oh,
that?
there you
There we
go.
go.
How far is that?
Yes,
How far
yes,
is Santa
yes,
Clarita from
yes.
San Diego? It depends on the traffic. If there's no traffic, then it could be like 2.5, 3 hours.
No.
If there's traffic, it'd be like 48 hours.
We'll keep an eye on the maps. We'll be in touch with you. We'll hope you be around.
No,
We're
but
gonna
seriously,
have-
I mean,
Yeah.
the only downside to Vasquez Rocks is San Diego Comic Con. Is that in the summer?
Yeah.
July.
July.
Yeah, so it's cooking out here. It's
Mm.
cooking out here. But if you came and spent the night and went in the early morning, it would be cool. It would be awesome.
Right.
And I mean, it really is
How do you
where
say no to that?
Yeah.
it really is where like both Jax and I, where we the formative year or months of our toy
Mhm.
photography careers, so
So cool.
yeah.
Oh, man.
But I would definitely try to make it to Comic-Con. I would definitely. Yeah.
All right.
So you guys are going in 2025
Yeah.
or 24.
No,
24.
this
24.
this
This-
coming July we'll be
shy.
there. Yep.
Yeah.
So we'll be in touch as we get closer, Mitch. To
Yeah.
see how your schedule is looking like.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Jax usually does go to Comic-Con, so
Nice.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
yeah. I've never been, so
Oh, well,
No,
First time for everything.
there you go.
first time for Vasquez Rocks for you guys.
Also true. Hey,
Also a good
wherever it takes, we'll be there.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Keep it in mind. Keep me posted.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
for sure.
Is there anything you want to plug or other than Max? But
I mean, the only thing, like, I think the highlight of my career is coming in May at that exhibit at the Science Museum, Oklahoma. I mean, I'd never been to Oklahoma before, Oklahoma City, until the summer when we went to Boston first, and then we went to Oklahoma City to check out the Science Museum and the gallery where I'll have my exhibit at. But Oklahoma City, I had no expectations, but it was pretty cool. It's a pretty cool town. Got a very cool vibe from the people. The museum is freaking amazing. It's 400,000 square feet. They have like 400 to 500,000 visitors per year that go there. The exhibit will be on for 1 year. I'll be going in May 17th for the opening. Actually, I'll be there for so the exhibit will consist of like a bunch of prints, some like 5x8 prints. They're going to be huge. And for the 5x8 prints, I'm going to have pedestals with like the actual toys kind of with the background set up so people can kind of see how I set things up. So I'm going to go like several days before that to help set that up. But the museum is cool. The people are cool. The food is very Midwestern, which is like different from what I'm used to. But like I had the best chicken pot pie in my life in Oklahoma City. Yeah. And definitely when I go back, I'm going to have that chicken pot pie again. So I would say that, and it's hard to say, I'll know for sure afterwards, but right now I think this is going to be like the highlight for like the accumulation of years of not just like toy photography, but my entire career out of art school. It's kind of led up to this moment. So I'm pretty excited about it.
Yeah.
If anybody can make it. I know that oh shit. Jason, I'm forgetting his handle.
Work more or
know-
less.
Oh, work more or less.
Yes.
Yeah.
He lives outside of like Oklahoma City. So
Okay.
I know that we'll probably hook up there at some point. But it's going to be a good show. And
Yeah.
it's going to be cool. So
That's amazing.
I'm gonna look because, as Chris said, callback. We have a license. We can go anywhere. And I'm gonna see what this drive is.
Yes.
My kids are starting to be a little bit more tolerant of longer car
Yes.
rides. So
Yes. You as the toy daddies, you should have a representative checking it
there
out.
we go.
For
Yeah.
sure. For sure. Yeah. And then so that opens on May 17th, and in July I'm going back for a workshop. I'm going to hold a workshop at the museum for kids and families, basically.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Wade Create has the restaurant recommendation,
Oh,
Billy
barbecue.
Sims Barbecue.
I'll write that down right now. Billy Sims Barbecue.
Sounds good.
How long? will
Yeah,
it
I've
take?
been to like
20
I got-
hours.
I've been to Kansas
can
City
do it,
twice.
Yimbo.
Been to Kansas City twice. Had their barbecue, which is amazing. So yeah, I'll definitely check out Billy Sims. Assuming it's he didn't say where it's at, but I'm assuming it's in Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
This could be a summer because you said it's going to be up for how long? Is it
A
the
year.
It's
Yeah,
a
it's a
whole
year.
That's
It's
amazing.
a year.
So
I know it is really
from May to
cool.
May. That's what you were
From
saying.
May to
Go-
May, yes.
That's incredible.
crazy.
Yeah.
Dude, Mitch, like, how awesome! Like,
It's awesome.
it's incredible.
Yeah,
Oh.
I'll admit it's an awesome thing. And so I'll go back to the niche thing. So I heard a speaker once say that it's like, you know, when somebody tells you should find a niche, it's like, I don't want to find a niche because it's so limiting. I don't want to just do one thing. But what he said, and what I found to be true, is that your niche is one door. And when you open that door of that niche, what you see in front of you is like 3 other doors. And you will go ahead and choose a door, and then you see another 6 doors. And it's kind of been that way for me. It's like, it's not just been about toy photography. It's been about so much more than that. I mean, ultimately it's toy photography, but you know, out of that came Marvel 616. It included an exhibition at Toy Fair in 2020. 2020, by the way, was a pivotal year for me because of Toy Fair. I had an exhibition. I did a talk at Toy Fair, and I also had Marvel 616 come out. So that was kind of like the turning point in my career. But I so understand and agree with what this one individual said. His name is Blair Enns, ENNSS. And then it's like, wow, what he said about niches is completely true. So there's power in the niche. I would say if you have an opportunity to discover, and even better, if you own your own niche, your life is going to change for sure. For sure. Yeah. It's out there. It's totally out there. I mean, before 2015, I would have been like, I don't even know what you're talking about, you know, but in 2015, in large part to my nephew, everything changed. Yeah.
Well, one last little thing we could share with you is something around here that we refer to toy photography as an underground art form. A buddy of mine, Lago Figs, like kind of coined it as comparing it to graffiti in the 80s.
Yeah.
So this is our underground. Then we are Banksy.
Yeah. You know what? I agree with him because I considered for a long time, I considered toy photography like a lowbrow art, which is very similar to what he's talking about. Very similar.
Yeah.
But you know what? I mean, I feel like a little less lowbrow and a little less underground at this point.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Climbing up out of the sewers.
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely an audience out there for it if you care about an audience, and whether or not there is an audience. You just do it because it's so cool too, right?
Yeah, it's so much
Yeah,
fun.
and there's a community. The community makes it super cool.
Yeah.
I mean, regardless of what anybody else thinks, and there's no negative thoughts out there about toy photography. Trust me, the community makes it really super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you guys, I mean, you guys have propelled that. I mean, I look at your Instagram account and it's like it's grown tremendously. So, congrats on the growth, and you're obviously resonating and connecting with the community because there's definitely a need for and a desire and an appetite for what you guys are putting out there, which is sharing the community basically.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, man.
Well, thank
Yeah.
you.
Appreciate that. Yeah.
That's been our vision.
Yeah. It's a good vision. It's a good vision.
Yeah.
And I also have to say I'm jealous of like the backgrounds that you guys the studios that you're because like Chris, you have the awesome green lighting. I tried to do like different colored lighting in here before. It just doesn't work. And then like it's so bland behind me, but sometimes if I have time, I'll set up a table behind me and I'll put like toys behind me and stuff. But like I have projects. Sometimes I'll have 3 projects going on here at one time. And this is not a big room. You can't see the edges, but it's not much more than what you see in the frame.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Hey, there's been plenty of toys behind. I've been staring at that Woody and that Grogu all day.
The Grogu was that was like he's not usually there. I put it in there so you can ogle him basically. that was from Sideshow. It's a cool Grogu, and they say that it was designed by the team that actually did Grogu for the Mandalorian. So and I believe it. It's really cool looking. It's really cool looking.
Messy Photography, I think, is sharing an announcement that you probably should share. Official is getting season 1 pilot show on Max.
What do we call? Let's see this. Marvel 616. What would be the Toy Story version of 616?
Oh man.
Yeah. When Lasseter was
I
still
would
with
call it
Pixar.
like Sid's backyard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm thinking,
Yeah.
I'm thinking
Yeah.
Sid.
Yeah.
That gave me pretty neat.
Yeah. I mean, I do a lot of that's where most of the Sid-like activity happens is in my backyard.
That's what I figured. That's where I was
Yeah.
putting it all together. I was like,
Yeah,
Andy,
yeah.
I don't know if Andy's gonna be customizing toys and getting
Drilling holes in backs.
blowing firework. I'm like, no, good, yeah.
You know what? You guys just open your minds a little, take out the drill. Next time you're shooting, go ahead and drill those holes.
I'm gonna remember that.
Yeah. It's
When
going
I
to
don't
make
do
your
that.
life so much easier because it took me a while to figure that out. And then once I did, it was like, oh, this is so much better. So much better. Yeah. Everybody who's
Maybe.
watching, get out your drills, drill your toys.
Chris and I are in so much pain just thinking about this.
It's okay.
No, I'm curious. I
It's
might do it.
okay. It's okay. It's going to be okay. It's okay.
Like maybe some of my like cheaper fakes, probably.
You can
You
definitely
at
you can
least
start
like
that way.
Laser Man.
You can start with Laser Man.
Oh,
Yeah,
don't.
there you go.
No, come
you,
on now.
you have multiple versions of Laser Man at this point.
That's true.
Dude, my favorite figure of the night is that Moo.
Mooder, aka Divine Bovine.
Yeah, that's my favorite of the night for sure. I really connect with that one.
You don't understand. You don't understand how happy that makes me feel.
I mean, I'm being serious though. I mean, I think that's
I
super
know,
cool.
and it makes me
super
so
cool.
happy. It's up there with the "come on and shoot with me."
Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, you bring that, we'll shoot it at Vasquez Rocks. I want to
Oh,
shoot it at
God,
Vasquez
yes.
Rocks. Yeah.
Pablo, he's already gonna have a peg hole on Laserman's back.
Peg hole, that's what we'll call it. Yeah.
That's a very good way of putting it.
Yeah. Well, Mitchell,
So I'm gonna tell you right now,
this is so much fun.
Johnny next week, you'll wanna reduce this to about 15 minutes long. Can you do that?
Why is
Speed
that?
round.
Johnny will thank me for it later. These are long.
Yeah, this is pretty long.
It didn't seem
I know.
long because I'm having a good time.
Well,
I'm
that's
glad-
good.
no, I'm
That's
glad I'm talking.
we usually
yeah.
get surprised. In all honesty, we always like to tell people like, hey, just a heads up, like it could go long. We don't want to monopolize your whole night, but you were down, and we just laughed
Yeah,
our
totally
way
down.
to
Totally
a
down.
long stream.
Totally
So
down.
thanks
I
for
think
hanging out, everybody.
I think Johnny will be the same. Yeah, yeah. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
We always get the heads up, but no, Mitch, seriously, we know you're a busy guy. Thank you so much for hanging out with us as long as you did tonight. Seriously,
I'm a
amazing,
busy
man.
guy, but usually at night I'm hanging out with my wife watching something on TV. You know.
Yeah.
Well, thanks
Well, I
to the
mean, for
missus
you, it's like
sharing.
9:40. For us, it's like 12.
Yeah, you're
40.
right. You're
Yeah.
right. On the other
So-
hand, it's like starting at 5:30 for me. It's like
Yeah. Good point. Good point.
yeah.
We
yeah.
are exactly 6 minutes away from our latest show.
Well, we
The
got to hang out
latest
for
one.
7 minutes then.
Did you see the pain on Chris's face? We have early wake ups.
I had such a good way to end it, and now it's been derailed because
Yeah, it has. So
because that was 20 minutes ago.
so what time do you guys wake up? I woke this morning. I woke up at 4:50, so I go to the gym at around 5:30 with my wife.
Yeah, I
What
woke
about
up
you
at
guys?
4:50 this morning.
Same.
Yeah.
I would love, my wife would love me to say that I get up at 5. She'd even be happy if it was 5:30. I'm usually 6, and she's been up already for an hour.
I
She's great.
think you're lucky that you could sleep into. I mean, sleep in is relative, but for me, sleeping into 6 would be amazing.
Mm,
Yeah,
I agree.
yeah,
I agree.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
I mean,
sleep till 7:30.
Oh my gosh.
But I don't go to bed until like
you're late.
2.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
3.
That makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
Like I average 6 hours. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do about 5 to 6.
Yeah, 5 to
6, I'm
6.
happy. 5, I'm like, I'll function.
7 is rare, but it's amazing if I get 7.
Yeah.
Are we putting now that we're talking about sleep? Are we putting your viewers to sleep?
Yeah, probably.
Are we at
Well-
6 minutes yet? What time is it?
Don't worry, Mitch. There's going to be a little lullaby that you're going to hear as soon whenever Chris presses that button. So it's all part of the experience of
I mean,
tucking
I get-
everybody in tonight.
How many? No chewing. How many minutes are we away from our longest show?
Unite my toy collectors, photographers, and more. We had some fun tonight, but we're out of pictures to explore. We thank you for your time. It was nothing but sublime. Though it's time to go to bed, don't be filled with dread. Because next week we'll be right here. Your toy daddies will appear to bring you joy and laughter every night and here on after.